Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us as we say goodbye to the winning streak. The Sacramento Kings, it was a great run. 7 games. It was a beautiful thing. They really, really showed up in a big way. We'll talk about some of your favorite memories from the win streak. Was it dismantling the Warriors? Was it beating the Boston Celtics in Boston? What was your favorite win? Let's not forget what they did against the Miami Heat, coming back from double digits, 16 down. All of the games that the Sacramento Kings showed up in. We're going to discuss all that, but it is time to look ahead. And last night, it showed some issues that we knew the Sacramento Kings had, but to this point, they were powering through due to willpower and Doug Christie, some of the moves that he made, but they came up against a buzzsaw, and this was one of those things where there was no will that was going to be able to help you in this situation, especially when you're not making shots. Some of the issues, a lot of the issues that we dealt with during the Mike Brown era of the Sacramento Kings reared its ugly head last night as the Kings really dig themselves a hole early. And if you went to grab a sandwich, because you know how it is with games, it says 5 o'clock and you're waiting, you get up to do something, I'll just use the bathroom now, and then you sit down and you miss the first couple minutes of the game. If you did that last night, you were probably very confused because you sat down and the Kings were down 15 points. It was a game where, to be fair to the Bucks, that's a game where they came out and wanted to respect the Sacramento Kings. They knew what the Kings had been doing. People are starting to talk about the Sacramento Kings. If this were a college game, you run off 7 in a row, now all of a sudden you're ranked in the top 25. So that next game, after you're ranked in the top 25, that team that you go up against, they're not going to mess around. You're not sneaking up on anybody. A couple of these games, so the beginning of the winning streak, the Kings beat some teams that were down bad, whether they were injured or they just weren't very good or maybe a combination of both. They beat the Celtics, and then the Celtics game, that kind of turns into, and you had people like Jason Tatum calling it a trap game, things like that. Then you have the Bulls. The Bulls, that was a game where, matinee game, not too many people paying attention. What are the Bulls doing anyway? De'Aaron Fox comes back. It wasn't a shellacking or anything like that, but the Kings take care of business. So you move forward, and now 7. I mean, that's legit, right? It was the longest win streak in the league. Everybody, I was just on my phone. NBA on the 4-letter network, they're talking about the Kings. You got guys from, I'm not going to name their names, but they're fighting Deuce and Mo to hop on their station. The Kings are hot. So there was no way that this was going to fly under the radar against the Bucks. And the Bucks knew that. And the Bucks also knew that the calling card on them right now, as we discussed on yesterday's show, was that they hadn't really beat some of the upper echelon teams. Now, I don't know if we would consider the Kings that as a whole, but that's how they'd been playing. They were the hottest team in the league. And yeah, they can win tomorrow night and still be one of the hottest teams in the league. You win, what would it be, 8 out of your last 9. You still be considered one of the hottest teams in the league. So the Bucks weren't going to let the Kings sneak up on them. But beyond that, beyond the mental side of things, they also just didn't have the horses. I really just want to break down at some point in the show what happened to even who was missing for the Bucks or what the situation, because Giannis and Dame played. I don't even know how the Kings were in a position to win last season in Milwaukee because that was just a matchup nightmare. That's not to excuse how the Kings played. We're not giving them a cop-out, anything like that. But they just did not have the personnel to handle the Milwaukee Bucks. That is their nightmare, okay? The Milwaukee Bucks against the Sacramento Kings, it's literally like Space Jam with the Monstars. All right, that's what it looked like last night. You had Bobby Portis doing whatever he wanted. You had Giannis doing whatever the heck he wanted. Brook Lopez with 21, that's going to kill you every single time. But there was just no size, and you try to throw out Alex Len, and that's not really working. What we're going to discuss is whether or not this could actually be good for the Sacramento Kings. Let's get off of this kumbaya. Everybody's feeling good about the Kings, and this is such a good story. This is actually why when De'Aaron Fox said what he said, what was that, back in December? We don't really control our own destiny. Well, yes, you do. And Kyle and I have joked about that there's physically no way they could catch the Oklahoma City Thunder. I believe it was, even if they went undefeated. No, you can't get the first seed and probably not going to get the second seed or the third seed. But the idea that you don't control your own destiny in December was kind of crazy. And De'Aaron is sometimes, I believe he suffers too much from being a realist. And maybe at that time, still under Mike Brown, he felt like we're not going to run off 7 in a row. Well, then that's why Mike Brown does not have a job anymore, because you can't say stuff like that in December. Because look what happens. You win 7 in a row. You're right back in the conversation. And I'm looking at the Western Conference standings right now. You do control your destiny. You actually control your destiny. You're 2-3, a couple games back of the 4 and 5 seed. You absolutely control your destiny. You did then, and you do now. No, we're not talking about the first, second, or even the third seed, but 4 through 6, you control your destiny. You have to continue to play the way you've been playing. Now, the Hunger Games actually start. This is why the win streak maybe didn't, Kyle talked about the win streak maybe not feeling as feel good as win streaks in the past. A couple texters and callers said the same thing, because you had to go on this win streak, to De'Aaron's point, just to get back into the conversation. So now the real work starts. Now it's no longer about nobody is thinking about the Sacramento Kings. Well, now they are, because you're still one of, if not the hottest team in the league right now. You're still 7-1 in your last 8 games. Now the real work starts. Now the Sacramento Kings, with expectations, now we see who they are going to be. We've seen the Kings when they don't have to make their own urgency. We've seen the Kings with their backs up against the wall, even microcosms of that, when they go down big early and they start heating it up. We've seen the Kings like that. Now people are talking about you. Now Doug Christie has you rolling in the right direction. Now who will you be? Because now you're not crawling out of the basement. You are out of the basement as far as I'm concerned. You are in the mix with everybody else. Everything from the 4 seed down is a possibility for you, a real possibility for you. Now how do you play when the lights are actually bright, when you're not sneaking up on teams? That's what we are about to learn about the Sacramento Kings. Those were the same, and it's funny because those were the same question marks we had going into this season. I know nobody really expected 7 in a row. I know I didn't, but we did understand that they play better with their backs against the wall. Well, your back is not against the wall in the same way anymore. So how do you create that urgency? Can Doug Christie still create that urgency to get the Kings playing the way that they need to play? Now, again, it's not just about Doug Christie, and it's not just about what the Kings can do on this roster. This also goes to Monty McNair. Again, there's no more, how can I make a move? They're on a winning streak. No, Monty. As much as they did not sneak up on the Bucks last night, even if they snuck up on the Bucks, there would probably be they haven't won there, in 8 years? This is a matchup nightmare for the Bucks. For the Kings. You can't just have Trey Lyles. You can't try to throw out Alex Len and Domantas Sabonis. We know what Giannis is, but you got to be able to throw somebody else at him. I saw last night on on Kings Twitter, somebody said, nobody has a Giannis stopper, but we don't even have a Giannis make him work guy. Giannis was getting whatever he wanted. Giannis is not normally going to shoot the mid-range at that clip, but he felt so comfortable, he was doing whatever he wanted. So this isn't about getting a Giannis stopper. This is about getting a somebody stopper. And Keon Ellis, yeah, he had a rough night against Dame. Dame took it personally. That's also what happens. We saw this last season with Keon and Jalen Brunson. These dudes have egos. These dudes have something to prove. Oh, y'all talking about Ellis Island, this second-year player? Okay, let's see what it's really about. So Keon is getting everybody's best shot, and he's going to continue to improve and evolve. That's just how it is. But I'm looking here, and it's you can't deal with Brook Lopez with 21 points, all right? Giannis gets his 33. It is what it is. Bobby Portis, he only had 8, but he did also have, 9 rebounds on the glass? These big bodies that the Kings just couldn't handle. We'll get into the rest of the box score because, A.J. Green, good Lord. Even a Ryan Rollins. The last time I saw Ryan Rollins, he was the Warriors want to give up on their future, don't want to give up on their future. Ryan Rollins was the part of the future they were willing to give up with. I believe he went to the Wizards in that Jordan Poole. That was the last time I saw Ryan Rollins. The last time.
I'm remembering now deep in the recesses of my mind, was he the guy that when the Warriors came back to play him, ran out of the wrong tunnel when they were doing the huddle thing?
I have no clue.
I got to find that.
He was the same guy. He was the Patrick Baldwin? That draft. So that's what we're dealing with here. It was a beatdown. And I know people are going to do they won the last 3 quarters. I don't know what to do with that because everybody's human. The Bucks took their foot off the gas. So I don't know how much I want to victory lap the Kings winning the last 3 quarters. You can, and of course you can. 916-339-1140. Let's get to more Kings Bucks notes on the other side as the win streak is over. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from JiffyLube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. NorCal's largest gathering for anglers, hunters, boaters, RVers, and off-roading enthusiasts. Buy the latest gear, discover the best destinations, and check out the all-new, fully redesigned Toyota Land Cruiser. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Brendan Nunez will join us at 12 o'clock. I'm not going to put Frankie's business out on the street, but a lot of people are familiar with what Frankie's got going on. And we are thinking all the best thoughts for Frankie. Hopefully we don't see him too soon. But Brendan Nunez will join us for the Kings Roundtable / one-on-one. That's coming up at 12 to discuss some of the moves that the Kings should make and what were the biggest takeaways from the from the win streak. You know, the whole idea is that the Kings just didn't have enough last night, and I'm okay with that. Instead of doing the conversation or having the conversation where it's, oh, well, they won the last 3 quarters. I don't need to quantify it that way. Me personally, I don't police fandom, so you can do that if you want. I don't need to look at it like that. I just look at it like they didn't roll over, right? They didn't give up at any point. They had a lot of chances. They just could not shoot last night. I don't know how they shot 40% from 3-point range. I have no clue how they did that. It did not look like that. And you know what it is? 40% isn't good enough or isn't timely enough when you're crawling your way back. They didn't give themselves a chance to make shots when it mattered because they just got blitzed from the beginning of the game. They just got destroyed from the beginning of the game.
I think the bigger part of it, and this is probably what you were feeling like, the bench shot 25% from the 3-point line, but Keon Ellis hit 5 threes. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox had a rough shooting night, but Keegan snuck that over through for me on the prop talk with the 3 for 8. But yeah, I mean, it was a few guys having great shooting nights and the rest of the team kind of doing the Kings thing of hanging around 32% or 30%, or, you know, in the case of Kevin Huerter, 25% with 1 for 4 from the 3-point line.
Yeah, you had De'Aaron Fox 2 for 8 from 3-point land. He ends up with 20 points in a game where, you know, obviously we all understand how important Malik Monk is, but beyond the scoring, the defense was really the issue last night because all 5 starters were in double figures. And I know when Keegan has 11, doesn't really hit the same, but you had Keon Ellis. If we're doing it this way, and I do like to move numbers around, right? So no, you did not have Malik Monk, but you had 18 points from Keon Ellis, which in my opinion, obviously you would want more from Keon if he was coming off the bench. But if somebody were to tell you, hey, you got, you know, kind of a quiet night for Keon, he had 3 off the bench and Malik had 15, that wouldn't be a crazy night to you. So in a way, Keon at least made up for Malik's scoring. Nobody's going to make up for for Malik's playmaking. Domantas Sabonis did have 9 assists. So the issue last night, as much as we obviously missed Malik Monk, the issue was the defense. You know, and once you get down early, every 3 feels really bad. If you were to ask me how many points AJ Green had, I would have told you at least 25. Because that's what it felt like because of when he hit those shots. AJ Green had 16. Now, you don't necessarily want to see AJ Green with 16 points off the bench, but it felt like he had way more. And in part, that's because he chucked up 12 threes. He was 4 of 12, felt like he didn't miss a 3, but he was 4 of 12 because they got down so early and they were just trying to climb their way back. The Bucks scored 17 points in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. The Kings scored 17 points in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. So it just a crazy start to the game. 47 points in a quarter, the 5th most in Bucks history, the most in scoring 49 in the first quarter, January 23rd, 2023. So that was the issue there. All right. And again, I said, let's not let Dame and Giannis go over 70 points again. They didn't. They finished with 57 between them. The biggest issue here is big body Brook Lopez with 21 points and AJ Green off the pine with 16. That's what you can't have. That's literally it. That's literally the game right there. And the bench kind of, you know, with the garbage minutes from the Jordan McLaughlins of the world, Isaac Jones sighting, and Dougie McBuckets, Kevin Huerter with 7 points. Kevin Huerter was a minus 24 on the night. Can't happen. Devin Carter, 3 points. He was a minus 11. Trey Lyles, 5 points after I apologized for my Trey Lyles slander, if you will, minus 19. They just did not have the requisite parts to stop. It was 2 things. They don't have the requisite parts to stop the Bucks, and they also just didn't play well. But going into this, what did we all say before the Kings just turned into the 1990s Chicago Bulls? We said, leave this road trip 2-1. And that's what they did. And damn it, even at the very end of the road trip, they didn't lay down. They gave themselves a chance. They got it to 11 points. They were a 3 away from really putting heat on the Bucks. The issue was, when in doubt, just give the ball to Giannis.
Yeah, I think you touched on the most important point of that, which is they were down 54-26 early in the second quarter. At that point, it's game over. If they had come back from that and found a way to win,
my goodness. Disney movie.
Yeah, it's one of the great upsets in NBA history, period. So I get trying to draw the positives of they played better down the stretch and all that stuff, but once you get down 54-26, I mean, what are we talking about at that point?
Yeah, and amid rock on the SAC chat saying Lopez hitting those threes was just a head scratcher. Not really. That's what he does. You know, Lopez, if we go prop talk, he's normally set at 1.5 threes to make. He made 3. He was 3 of 7. So again, they just had so many opportunities. The Bucks did. It feels like they shot 37% from 3. They didn't. That's good, but they did not shoot the lights out. They just got so many opportunities because of Giannis Antetokounmpo. They out-rebounded the Kings, which we haven't seen that in a very long time, 52-45. All right, they had more assists than the Kings, 32-25. The Kings turned the ball over 9 times. The Bucks turned the ball over 7 times. So, you know, it really just came down to when the Kings needed they got certain stops, but it was literally like the Bucks just taking their foot off the gas. And then as soon as the Kings made it a little bit spicy, the Bucks just said, here, take it, Giannis, or whatever big body. That's why the winning the last 3 quarters to me, that's fine just in terms of the Kings didn't lay down, but I'm not saying that the Kings beat the Bucks the last 3 quarters of the game. Yeah. I'm not saying that.
I mean, the fourth quarter they won, but did it really feel like they won the fourth quarter? I mean, between AJ Green hitting that dagger shot, between Damian Lillard hitting the step. Oh my God, Damian Lillard I think that was, I'm trying to remember who was guarding him. He put someone in the blender. I think it was Carter on a step back.
5 of 8 from 3-point land. Damian Lillard.
I think that made it 120-101 at that point, and that was kind of the moment where it's like, okay, there's no chance they're coming back, but Lillard putting people in the blender, AJ Green hitting the 3. It didn't feel like they won the quarter, even though when you look at the point total at the end, yes, they technically won the quarter because Jordan McLaughlin hit a 3-pointer in
garbage time. And, you know, it reminded me of a lot of what we've seen from the Mike Brown Kings, and we'll talk about some of the random lineups that we saw. That was a situation where Doug was just searching for something. Can I find something on the bench? And I guess in a way they did. Like I said, they made it a game, but they just didn't have the horses.
Well, they just had no one to guard Giannis.
Yeah.
And Domas gave it his effort. And I believe that was the right strategy through and through, was to have Domas guarding Giannis, because the towering centers are the ones who are the best at defending Giannis. So you can't really put forwards on him because he's basically a center in that offense. But I mean, Domas just got cooked by Giannis. And that, like Doug said in the postgame, we'll hear it later, that's just not Giannis's game, or that's not Domas's game. It's being the Rudy Gobert, Victor Wembanyama, Clint Capella type of center defending. That's not Domas's game.
But to me, it's not as if Giannis, and we got to get to the other side. We'll hear from Doug Christie. It's not as if Giannis had 33. It's not as if he had 53 points. Giannis, again, going back to prop talk, he's set at 31.5. So the reason I bring that up is that this is always really close to the average. So, and I believe Mark Jones said it on the broadcast, holding Giannis at 33 is not terrible. It's not terrible. The problem is when you have the other dudes doing their thing. That's what we were talking about last night. The problem is Brook Lopez with 21, Dame with 24 is fine. You live with it. But the AJ Green situation, it again, very reminiscent of the Mike Brown Bucks or the Mike Brown Kings, where you have kind of random guys just balling out.
I think the 33 at the end is less important than the 15 in the first quarter. Him and Dame combined for 25 in the first quarter, while the Kings as a team had 26. And at that point, you're already down 21 points. And so I think the 33 at the end is not insignificant, but it's less significant than 15 points in the first quarter. You're down 20. they come out to start the second quarter, and now you're down 28.
Very reminiscent to the Nuggets game when Aaron Gordon started out hot, but at the same time, Aaron Gordon is not Giannis, so we knew that would come back to that would come back to reality. All right, let's hear from Doug Christie on the other side. What do you have to say about the Kings and that winning streak coming to an end? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A chilly start to this Wednesday. Plan for that as we head through the afternoon. Bright sunshine, light winds, and temperatures a little warmer than yesterday, peaking in low to mid 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers Game Day by securing your 2025 season tickets now. Inventory is limited, so speak with a representative. Dial 415-GO-NINERS and reserve your seats. That's 415-GO-NINERS.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers Game Day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco! For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Shot clock now on. Final seconds will tick away. The Bucks just have to advance it to the front court. They do that. They extend their home court winning streak to 5 straight. On the opening night of a double back-to-back, well, they'll have Orlando in the house tomorrow. And now for the 9th consecutive time here at Fiserv Forum, Milwaukee has defeated the Sacramento Kings. The final score is 130 to 115.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Going to hear from Coach Doug Christie and open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140. We have some texts to get through. You have from the 209, the loss last night is good. Hopefully it causes Maya to realize we are still not constructed well enough with our roster to compete with longer athletic teams like the Bucks and the Pelicans. I love how the Pelicans keep getting pulled. The Pelicans have done irreparable damage to the Sacramento Kings. The Pelicans will be mentioned. The Pelicans will be mentioned when it comes to the Sacramento Kings, no matter where they are. Do they even have 10 wins? I don't even think I know they haven't been healthy, but just when I read Pelicans, I'm just reading that as from that season because it's not necessarily this. Is there any other team in the league that worries about the Pelicans the way the Kings fans worry about the Pelicans?
No, because the Pelicans are a bad team.
But
Again.
I love how they will still get brought up no matter what.
Well,
just because you go 0-6 against a team, I get it.
Again, the Pelicans had 6 wins last year in 6 games against the Sacramento Kings. This season, they have 9 wins in 41 games.
Yeah.
They're 9-32, people.
It's just the idea of the Pelicans. It's not the actual Pelican team.
The Pelicans are bad.
I know that. I'm saying what it represents when people say teams like the Bucks and the Pelicans. It is the Pelicans are just a stock long team. You don't even have to say the Pelicans anymore. Or if you say them, I know you don't mean. I think you do not mean the team from this season. By the way, we have some Trey Murphy comparisons with Keegan Murray that I want to get into with y'all later in the show, because when you talk about a leap, yeah, that dude is taking a real leap. During the break, you can check out some of his highlights. But right now, we're going to hear some of the highlights from the one, the only Doug Christie, Coach Doug Christie, and everything he had to say following the team's loss. And there's some interesting things here that people are asking questions as far as, are you okay with what he said? Here it is.
Super proud of our guys. 35-15 run in the first quarter. Obviously 47 points, totally unacceptable. Giannis really got it going early, but after that, played them solid and learning. Continue to 42 threes is a good number for us. We want to bump that up even more, but end of a road trip. Now we got to go home and try to take care of business. Yeah, Domas the last couple seasons has guarded Giannis, and his physicality has been good. There was a point where Giannis started bringing the ball up the court with absolutely zero pressure, and that's not Domas's thing. So that was the big switch. A lot of times they run the small screen and roll. It's not always with a guard. Sometimes it was with Keegan's guy. So we still had the ability to switch him off. And it's just adjustments throughout the game, trying to figure out the recipe to slow and generational all-time player down. I mean, you're not gonna stop him, like I said in the pregame. You just want to slow him down. But Keegan did a really good job, and he just continues to grow offensively, defensively, because that's one hell of an assignment. I think Dame had a 4-point play. That 1-2 action with theirs is really tough. There were some bounces, obviously, also that didn't go our way. The behind the back pass that Giannis threw that kind of bumped around and made its way through. Like during a streak, you need some of those things to go your way. And it wasn't from a lack of effort. It's just sometimes that's how it happens. They got a lot of bounces in that first frame, and, kudos to them because they're a really good ball club. So other than that, I have to go back and watch the film because it happens fast, man. I mean, to be honest with you, the only thing that I am really solid on is that we continue to solidify our identity. Like, you come and you play extremely hard and you play extremely physical and you get after it for 48 minutes with the talent that we got, most times you're going to walk away with the W in this league. That's number one, is this is how we play. And I will say that the fight, the continuous effort, the togetherness that they showed in that is how you get a 7-game winning streak in the NBA. So for me, it's really that simple. It's just like continue to define yourself. And I think that they've started down that path in a really good way.
Continue to define yourself. It's funny that the win streak ended against the Bucks because the Bucks had a win streak of their own towards the end of last season, and they needed it as well. Their season was going off the rails, and they were able to turn it around. At the time, we were also comparing the Kings to the Bucks then, but the Bucks were playing even worse than the Sacramento Kings. So you do have opportunities to to change the narrative and show who you want to be in this league. And that, paraphrasing what Coach Christie had to say, that's where the Kings are at now. What could happen and what we don't want to happen is that this 7-game win streak is the best thing that happens to the Kings this season. And maybe it could be just based on where the Kings were at, because it did essentially save the season. But at the end of this season, nobody outside of Sacramento is going to be talking about the win streak if this is the best thing that happens with the Sacramento Kings. The work starts now. Proving who you want to be in this league starts right now if you are the Sacramento Kings. That's what happens when you trick off situations and you had to clear up some drama that was happening internally. So you did all that. Now you're basically they're 20-20. You basically have a new record to start. So it's tough because they might feel, man, we've been playing great. We just rattled off 7 or 8. But because you were in such a hole, that was just to get back to 500 and just to get back into the mix. The real work starts now. When you get a job and you've been applying to different jobs for a very long time and you feel good about what you've been doing and you get through the first round of interviews, the second round of interviews, the third round of interviews, the final round. Some of these companies be going crazy with how many rounds they got. And you finally get the job. You'll go out. I was going to make a joke about enjoying a Michelob Ultra, but I won't do that. You'll go out. You'll enjoy a beverage. You'll celebrate with your loved ones. But when the dust settles, it's Monday morning. Now it's time to get to work. That's where the Kings are right now. It's time to get to work. That's exactly where the Kings are at. It was a hard road to get the job, but now you have to be successful at that job to keep the job. That's where the Kings are at right now. That's how big of a hole it was. So as much as we are happy about the win streak, as much as we enjoy what the win streak brought us, because I thought the season was done. I did. And if you've been listening, I did. It was, you're either going to make a rash decision to try to keep De'Aaron, or it's probably time to have that conversation. And funny enough, we're going to talk about this January 15th. You know what that means? You know who is available starting today amongst other players? If this thing hadn't have gone the right way, Malik Monk available to be moved today, along with other guys that signed that contract in the offseason.
Ooh, Paul George trade. Let's go.
The Paul Georges of the world. That's what people were looking at. Everybody was on the table. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, all these dudes. So you had to win 7 of 8 just to power through it. I don't know who's available now, but the idea of this thing blowing up and how bleak it looked, at least we are past that. But now the real work begins. Now this is a team that has some expectations, because I would say out of the groups, and I'm not sitting here pretending like I'm following every Western Conference team. Don't get me wrong, closely. But if you do look at what the Kings have, even without making a move, the Kings are back in the 10 seed because of that loss, right? But the Suns, they're a complete mess. The Spurs, who are in the 9 seed, I know the Chris Paul effect. Chris Paul, by the way, he's only missed 1 free throw all season long. He's shooting like 98% from free throw. That's just a weird stat that I saw. I don't really believe in the Spurs. The Timberwolves are going to be annoying because of Anthony Edwards, but it's just Anthony Edwards, and we know Julius Randle is a problem for the Kings specifically. The Lakers, LeBron was just on the Jason Kelce podcast. They're just enjoying their time. The Warriors have essentially waved the white flag. There are talks in Golden State about doing what they did a couple years ago, and essentially, because of that fluid in Steph's knee, selling this season, getting a good draft pick, selling this season and seeing what happens next, giving themselves more flexibility. The Mavericks, I don't know when Luka's coming back. They're just now working back Kyrie as far as getting to play back-to-backs. You lose Kyrie and Luka. How the Mavericks are still in the 6th seed is actually incredibly impressive, but they've been very bad. Again, they went on a hot streak, and they had a bit of a buffer while they haven't had Luka and haven't had Kyrie, because there is no way they should be the 6th seed right now. And you have the Clippers, who we don't know what to do with the Clippers. Honestly, the team that does worry me, as much as I'm still bringing up the 4 seed, I watched the Nuggets. Who did they play last night? But they dismantled. I mean, they were up nearly 40 points last night, the Nuggets were. So they are starting to do the Nuggets thing.
They crushed Spencer Dinwiddie's Mavericks.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. But they are looking good. Russell Westbrook and
Kyrie was there.
Kyrie did play. Russell Westbrook and Jokic are starting to figure it out. So maybe the 4, maybe it's 5 and 6 again, just like last season. But I look at the Kings and I look at some of the other teams, and I have an expectation that the Kings could get the 6th seed. Whenever Luka gets back, I don't know, but that's still only one spot. So between the Clippers, who just got Kawhi back, and the Mavericks, who are still dealing with not having Luka, there is a real shot here for the Sacramento Kings. The work starts now. The work starts now. All right, let's continue the conversation. We open up the phone lines and hear from you, Sacramento, 916-339-1140. Reasons to be optimistic moving forward for the Sacramento Kings. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into 3. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2024 slip away without savoring the memories made with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Looking forward is always exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, revolving around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson with his first bite of birthday cake was priceless and reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings during their annual New Year's sale going on now, including all the fine furniture and accessories in every department. How about a new style for the new year? Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with future memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will stay with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? It seems impossible to find them. Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it. And now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Man, oh man, I sit here and Kyle helps me. He does a great job of breaking down these our talking points and rundowns, and then I see a text and I want to mess up the whole schedule because I want to talk about what the text is talking about, but I want to give it more time because this is a shorter segment, and I do want to give it more time. There is somebody on the text line from the 530 saying, Allen, how much longer would you wait on Keegan to develop? I think the Kings should shop him and see. Potential doesn't always pan out. I want to give that more time, 530. I want to give that more time. So that's coming up in the 11 o'clock hour because, like I said, there is a dude on the Pelicans right now. He does have one more year in the league than Keegan. But when I watch a guy and I see the word leap or see the word potential, that's what I'm talking about. Not to say that Keegan doesn't have it, but when people are saying untouchable, I should say it like this, untouchable potential. I will tell you who that guy is in the 11 o'clock hour. Some other notes on the Kings win streak and kind of the favorite memories. Kyle, I think the obvious game is it's either the Warriors or the Celtics, right? Best game from the win streak?
No. The best game of the win streak.
The double overtime?
Yeah. Double overtime Miami come back from 99.4% win probability.
Yeah.
That was the best by far. I was like, I don't usually, I'm not like the rah cheer kind of guy while I'm watching a game. That was one where I was just like, oh my goodness, please pull this one out. Like I'm rooting for this one to go their way because that game was so fun, so entertaining. DeRozan hitting shot after shot after shot in the double overtime. Yeah. Miami, number one. Gold, silver, and bronze are coming in. Not Patrick Mahomes' kids. Gold is Miami. Silver's got to be probably the Warriors game, and then Boston. But just the fourth quarter of Boston.
Do you think there are Kings fans out there, especially not having De'Aaron Fox? I know it was in the midst of the win streak, but you're ranking the Boston Celtics game third. And I'm wondering if other people would agree with that because it felt the most, for lack of a better term, when Jason Tatum says it was a trap game. Did the Celtics game feel fluky at all?
No, I just think the other two were more excellent because of how they won those games, right? I mean, the one that's getting lost in the shuffle is the Sixers game where they played literally a perfect final 3 minutes down the stretch, and we don't even remember that one. De'Aaron Fox against the Grizzlies, that game is lost to history. Like, there's just so many great moments that happen on the win streak that, I feel like because it's Boston not at their peak, and because of the fact that the first 3 quarters of that game were completely forgettable, I feel like Warriors and Heat game were kind of more exciting because of how they won that Heat game and because it was the Warriors and they just blew them out the building.
And it's funny because I just used the word fluke or fluky for the Celtics game. And that's really where I'm at right now with the Sacramento Kings. Now that the win streak is over, you have to prove to the rest of the league that this wasn't a fluke. There are random teams that get hot for a couple games. Look at the Warriors. Would they start 12-3?
Yep.
That seems to have been Buddy Hield. It was a little fluky.
All right. Buddy Hield cycle came back around.
It was a little fluky. So now the Kings have to prove that this wasn't because that's what do not trust. And that's why I'm saying, I know Deuce and Mo was on with Yahoo Sports, and do not trust what national media is doing right now. Because if the Kings fall back, then this becomes a fluke. Then this whole 7-game stretch will be viewed as a fluke. And you know what? I don't even know if I could really blame national media. There is so much, I guess for lack of a better term, pressure on the Kings now to prove that this wasn't a fluke.
Okay, well, let's look at last segment. You talked about the Western Conference standings. Now the 6th seed is within reach for the Sacramento Kings. It is literally 2 games within reach of the Kings. Well, let's look at the teams they're battling up against. The Clippers. Obviously, they don't have Paul George, but they're just getting healthy right now with Kawhi coming back. They've got Norman Powell playing like an all-star, and Jeff Van Gundy is making that defense top 5 in the league. Mavericks, they're just getting healthy again. Went to the finals last year. Lakers, continuity. They have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Both players are better than the Kings, and by the way, the Kings are 0-4 this year against the Lakers. Timberwolves. By the way, the Kings are 0-2 against.
No, they got one. They're 1-2.
1-2 against the Timberwolves, and then you have San Antonio, who is a
1-2 as well.
Yeah, but they also have the same record, right? They're both 19-19. And then you look at the Kings, and it's like it's a 500 team with an interim coach. They're not as well positioned as these other teams right now, and that's the tough thing that I would say going forward is like they're only 2 games back, but the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Timberwolves, they're better positioned to go on a run than even the Sacramento Kings team.
No, that's fair. And on top of that, it's not just a game here, game there because of the tiebreakers, right? The tiebreakers with the Lakers. The Lakers, that one's absolutely cooked, so you better hope the Lakers are nowhere near the Kings when that's done. The Timberwolves and the Spurs, right now the Kings don't have the tiebreaker against any of those teams. So it is tough sledding, and I know I want to say that the Kings, maybe I'm drinking the purple Kool-Aid a little bit too much. I think we'll just know a lot more after these next, 5 games, and we're going to talk about the schedule because the schedule, they have another East Coast trip, the one that you talked about, Kyle, it's rough. So the Kings are kind of just getting started here, and that's why I want to close the book. And I think I'm getting trolled a little bit. I think I get trolled a lot on the text line, but 916 is saying, let's exercise positivity. That was about 16 minutes ago. So maybe I was in the middle of one of my realist rants, but that's why it's time to close the book on the win streak, because now you have to get to work, and you still have a really tough schedule, and you still have teams in front of you that don't have that you don't have the tiebreaker against. So that's a problem for the Sacramento Kings. They still have a lot of work to do. And when you have the De'Aaron Fox conversation and you have the make a move conversation, as much as we have moved away from the whole blow the whole thing up talk, there's still some tough decisions to be made. It's almost one of those things where I don't even want to look at the standings because you feel much better about the Kings until you look at the standings.
Yeah, and that's just the tough part about being in the West. And I tend to agree with you on it's time to move on from the win streak, but the win streak was so nice.
Oh, it was great. Don't get me wrong.
It blessed us with DeMar DeRozan in that double overtime game. Devin Carter blessed us with that body.
God blessing me with his body.
Oh, we had this great one.
He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to the Kings for the super fun 7-game win streak. All started because Pharmacy Jeff called in the day of the Mavericks game.
Well, we need him to call in again. Pharmacy Jeff, we need a new win streak, brother.
I think my funniest subplot of this show is that we've just never heard from Jeff again. Never on the text line, never on the call line, never in the Sack chat. Just
good dude by all accounts, but he does not fit. Does not fit. All right, gotta go.
Still never heard from him again. But the Kings won 7 games in a row.
That's right.
It's like reverse royale. Jeff is our reverse royale.
Well, Jeff had to go and the win streak had to go, but hopefully the Kings start a new one tomorrow night against the Rockets, who I believe will be coming off the second game of a back-to-back. So that should be a good opportunity for the Kings, even though the Rockets will have something for the Kings because that got chippy last game. Let's not forget that. All right, let's close the book on this win streak and move forward. How can the Kings continue moving in the right direction? Could this be the best thing for the Kings? And who should be moved at the trade deadline? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
With the cooler seasons upon us, Advanced Infusion Center remains focused on your health and comfort. Whether you're dealing with a chronic illness or in need of IV therapy, we provide tailored treatments to meet your unique needs. Our caring team is here to make sure your experience is safe, comfortable, and stress-free. With convenient locations in Sacramento and Yuba and flexible scheduling, you can easily access the care you deserve. Explore Advanced Infusion Therapy today. Visit advancedinfusion.com for compassionate care right where you need it.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center January 24th through 26th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
My mother faced the same challenges that I had growing up. She was smoking, so I started smoking too. My mom got sick. Seeing her on a breathing machine, I had to open my eyes. Do I want to be another product of my environment or help change the world?
Keenan ended the cycle of nicotine addiction in his family. You can too. For free support, text KICK Nicotine to 66819 today.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, this is Greg Pop-Up. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with any base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
You turned your dating app for pets into a business, which just turned over its first billion. You turned around the fortunes of a failing football club, politely turned down a Nobel Peace Prize, and turned up on Mars in your own reusable rocket, all while struggling to turn on the dishwasher. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover business development titles on Audible.
Tom's Watch Bar has the best happy hour in Sacramento, starting with $5 specials all day, every day. Plus select $7 appetizers and $12 entrees. With 360-degree viewing and game day vibes that match being at the game. Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for sports fans.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
We have hit the second hour, and I can't even lie. We're going to see Justin Timberlake tonight, Golden One Center. Had to hook that up for wifey. She's been holding it down. So we are going to enjoy some JT tonight if anyone's going to be in the building.
Oh, why didn't you say so? I got to switch up our music selection here.
That's also true.
Got to get you in the mood.
That's thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
And little suit and tie coming up
that's
here.
Right. And we all appreciated the Kings winning streak and hoping a new one starts. I got some information here from Amid Rock on the Sack Chat, and I was worried at first. So I don't know the numbers on this, but it feels like the Kings always lose on theme nights. Whenever there's something cool going on at Golden One, the Kings, under Mike Brown, I should say, typically it did not go well. And I specifically remember Baby Race Day was against the Rockets, and I believe it was Family Day last season, and the Kings got whooped good. So Amid Rock on the Sack Chat says it's Hello Kitty night tomorrow. So I got very, very worried about it being Hello Kitty night because it's a theme night. But Amid Rock also says the last Hello Kitty night, the Kings lit the beam 127-106 over the Utah Jazz. Now that's the Jazz. But now I don't feel as bad, and I don't feel as worried. But yeah, all these theme nights for the Kings, they always worry me. Kings, I don't know the numbers, but it just feels like they typically lose on these theme nights. So hopefully that is not the case tomorrow night. As we break down what the Kings can do to start a new winning streak, 916-339-1140. A couple callers want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Jaime? How you doing? What you got for us?
What's good, Styles? Man, that was a great win streak. But we got 3 in front of us. I think we can get through the Rockets, which I think we can. Sabonis is going to lock up Sengun. We need Monk back, though, so I'm hoping I don't know his timeline. I hope he comes back soon. And, man, I could project a 3-game win streak.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. Let's get through the Rockets. Let's crush the Wizards. Don't even give them a chance. I want to see some too little. I want to see something. I want to see something. Just bring that. Just keep bringing that fire. Keep bringing that fight. Dive. I don't know how many times they dived for the ball yesterday. I need to see some dives. I need to see, I need to see some hustle and some lobs. Something. Get the energy. Get the vibe right. And then the Warriors, we got to put the nail in the coffin for them. Send them packing, and then that's what I got right there, man. Thank you, Styles.
Thanks for the call, Jaime. Yeah, the Malik Monk situation, I truly don't know. I'm going to be honest with y'all, and this is just coming from someone who pulled his groin. Now, I know it's groin soreness with Malik, and I know I'm also not a professional basketball player. I got low expectations. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know when we'll see Malik Monk again. That's just me personally. That's not sourced. That's just from my groin being pulled and it hurting really, really bad and watching how Malik Monk plays basketball. So I am not expecting personally to see Malik Monk tomorrow night. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I just know that groins can be very annoying. They can be very annoying. So I don't know, but I would be surprised personally if Malik Monk plays.
Let's operate under the assumption he's not going to play and be pleasantly surprised tomorrow.
Yes, that's exactly how I'm operating because there was a little bit of juice missing last night, and that's Malik Monk. Do I think the Kings win even if Malik Monk plays? I don't know. Probably not. I think they were due, but having Malik on the floor obviously would have helped. I don't know that they win last night, though.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know, De'Aaron. That seems,
it doesn't really matter.
That seems so long ago. Can I just say that?
It kind of was. It's almost 3 weeks ago now.
It seems about 3 months ago.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
And it does matter, De'Aaron. So hopefully we can get Malik Monk back.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Tomorrow, 916-339-1140. Let's get to Dwayne. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Dwayne? What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, though, man? You know what it is. I'm still waiting on the trade, but to be honest, I'm not sure Marty McNair's going to pull a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to stand pat, man, and let it ride. And I think that's a disservice to Sacramento Kings, the fans, you guys, all of us, because, like I said, Beno was saying, you're one trade away. Last night reared its ugly head again with Giannis, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez. It's too much.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dwayne. We'll see, and don't worry. I got the list of new players that are available. Malik Monk is one of them, but the new list of players that are available starting today from Bobby Marks, players that are available for trade that weren't previously available. So I hear you on that. I truly don't know. And after last season, when nothing happened, I sat here in the round table and we went back and forth. I honestly, and we talked to Sean Cunningham yesterday, and I asked Sean, I said, is there a chance nothing happens? And Sean said, essentially, of course, there is definitely a chance nothing happens. And I don't think it's crazy. If they're not looking at the win streak or the losing streak and they're not really sure what they want, and I'm not saying they're not sure what they want to do, but what we keep hearing, I was talking to Carmichael Dave in the Crosstalk. Everybody's monitoring. Everybody is monitoring everything. Every team, every GM is monitoring everything, but nothing is happening. And there is a thought to bring in guys later. There is a thought to bring in guys earlier for that continuity. I'm to the point now, I truly don't know if a move is going to be made. I don't, because last season, I actually thought there was something that's going to happen, and nothing happened.
Allen, do you know the old phrase, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this case, you've got 2023, trade for Kessler Edwards once,
yep.
Shame on me. Trade for Robin Lopez's contract that you immediately waived.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, Robin Lopez showing up to a Bucks game with a book. Remember that? Because he got waived by the Kings after they traded for his contract just so the Bucks could get under the luxury tax. Hey, Kessler Edwards once, shame on me. Mm-hmm. Robin Lopez contract twice, shame on you. Kings fans have seen this before, dude. It's been 3 seasons now where they have not made a significant acquisition outside of DeMar DeRozan. That was the one that was a free agent signing that they had to move on from some players. But other than that, It's 3 straight years without a major acquisition or even really a minor acquisition. I mean, Chris Duarte for 2 second-round picks was a minor acquisition. Sasha was a free agent signing in hindsight, but yeah, this is now 3 straight seasons where they have not made a significant change to the core. So, of course, when they're winning 7 games in a row and people are saying don't trade Trey Lyles because we want to sign him to a contract extension this offseason, of course, it's going to have to be a trade that's very small, even if they do make one.
Well, I also think that's what's interesting because Dwayne has never changed, right? Every time Dwayne calls in, it's always about making a move.
Oh, Dwayne said if they don't make a trade by December 15th, it's a disservice.
So Dwayne has never changed in his thought process. But some people out there, when it came to the win streak, all of a sudden, Trey Lyles was taken off the table. All of a sudden, Devin Carter was taken off the table. So it got to a point now where, and look, these are listeners and fans of the team, not the GM, but it got to a point where it's, well, a lot of y'all don't even know who you're willing to move. Some people that said, oh, well, we can't move Trey. Do you still feel like that now that the win streak is over and his shooting has cooled off? Who is besides Kevin Huerter, who are you willing to move? Because during the win streak, nobody wanted to move anyone. And I get it. We're not getting paid the big bucks. Monty McNair is, and he shouldn't be reacting like fans are. And I don't believe he is. I would never say that he is. But during the win streak, there was only one person that people talked about moving. That's Kevin Huerter. So that wasn't ever realistic.
And at this point, wouldn't Kevin Huerter essentially be salary filler in any trade?
Yes. That's exactly right. And not to be disrespectful to Kevin Huerter. And that's what Esteban is saying on the Sack Chat where it says, or on the text line where he says, this thought of Keegan and Carter trading them is a waste of time because of their good contracts. But no, it's not a waste of time depending on what you get back.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like Kevin Huerter is worth nothing. It's just the $18 million makes it almost impossible to trade Kevin Huerter for anyone other than someone making $20 million. And of the players making $18 to $25 million,
most of them are giving you more value.
Ding, 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 right there.
So that is why nobody wants to move Devin Carter. But again, if you can't move Devin and you can't move Keegan, and now people are throwing Trey Lyles into that conversation, y'all are just going to run around. Anybody want a Kevin Huerter? Can I get a Kevin Huerter? What do you got? What do you want? Then there's not going to be a move.
Well, I think there would be a small move, like the one I've thrown out, which is flip Malcolm Brogdon for Kevin Huerter, which is essentially they're making the same money. Brogdon's on an expiring contract.
And that would tick everybody off because that's another guard.
Well, yeah, but it would just be changing Kevin Huerter for a expiring contract.
But that isn't a move for this season.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you could argue Malcolm Brogdon might give you more production, but again, it's not the move that people thought when we're talking about the Cam Johnsons and the Kyle Kuzmas and the Jeremy Grants and the Herb Joneses and the giant list of names that we've had on here for the last month.
When we return, some of the same old issues returned last night. Are you worried about your Sacramento Kings, or was this just a one-off? The work starts now. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers, too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Well, JT is going to be at the Golden One Center tonight. I will be in the building, little parents' night out.
I don't know if he'll sing this song for you, but it's one of my personal.
There's too many. So I sometimes for my smaller artists that I go to, when I go to those shows, I'll look up the set list, but I'm not even going to waste my time with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, not with Justin Timberlake. Also, this one is technically a Snoop Dogg song, but Justin Timberlake sings most of the chorus and a verse, so they probably won't do this one, but just this is a top 3 Justin Timberlake song in my book.
I got to hear some Justin Timberlake and Timbaland. Some of the work that they were doing back in the day. That's what I'm into. Everything else is just for wifey. Yes, I'm getting some brownie points because that's what you got to do sometimes. That's what you got to do sometimes. I got some golf trips coming up. So.
Between 2005 and 2013, no one was cooking like Justin Timberlake.
No, definitely not. I want Jerry Curl Justin Timberlake. I want some NSYNC to pop up too. Some blonde Jerry Curl Justin Timberlake tonight. If you're going, hope you have a good time because I know.
I haven't been paying attention, but wasn't Justin Timberlake and NSYNC supposed to be together at times on this tour? I thought that was the whole point of the third Trolls movie, was that the band was getting back together.
You are talking to the wrong person on that one.
Okay, never mind then.
But
you didn't know the whole thing about Trolls 3?
No,
okay.
I didn't.
Never mind then. That's fine. It's such a sweet movie.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Well, the Kings did not taste sweet victory last night as their 7-game win streak, the longest in the NBA, was snapped as I wouldn't say they got smacked by the Bucks. I mean, they did, but they didn't, right? They made it respectable in the end. And now people are back to the trade generator and making moves. And by the way, 45 minutes, Brendan Nunez joins us. If you have any questions for Brendan when he joins us, there is a big trade here from the 530. They want to do. I'd flip Herter and Lyles and 2 firsts for John Collins and Walker Kessler. Time to get big. Now, I'll tell you this much, 530. I don't know if that's enough for Danny Ainge because they seem to really want to get a lot back for Walker Kessler. I think Danny Ainge, with that expiring contract for Trey Lyles and 2 firsts, that is something to me. John Collins and Walker Kessler for Herter, Lyles, and 2 firsts, 530. They say time to get big. I would say this. Danny Ainge might do that. He might do that. As far as the Kings are concerned, that to me is a deal that is saying, if we're looking at deals that are specifically telling me, Allen Stiles, that the Kings want to keep De'Aaron, that's the type of deal I'm talking about. Something that does kind of put you in a bind as far as the picks are concerned, but you're getting back a young talent in Walker Kessler. You're getting back a John Collins who we hope he continues to play like he's been playing with the Jazz, with the Kings, who's really started to flourish. You could argue he's been more consistent than Lauri Markkanen on that team. Lauri Markkanen seems to be banged up quite often. That is a big swing to me that would say, hey, De'Aaron, we want you to stay. Some of these outer moves where you're just moving Kevin Herter or whatever, and you're the Malcolm Brogdon thing that you talked about, Kyle, that doesn't mean that they don't want to keep De'Aaron, but that tells me that they're still not sure. A move like this where you're mortgaging some of your future, that's essentially saying, because this is what I've talked about. You have to pick De'Aaron. You don't have to, but you're probably picking De'Aaron over other guys on the team, right? In order to keep De'Aaron and make a move. You're picking De'Aaron over AAU 7th graders if you get rid of some of your first-round picks. You're picking De'Aaron over your future in a way if you move a Devin Carter, if you will. You're picking, or Keegan Murray. You're picking De'Aaron over your future. That is the decision that I believe, or you could say, I don't think they would do this, you're picking De'Aaron over a Sabonis, somebody like that. I don't see that happening, but obviously a star like that, we're going to leave out DeRozan just because I just don't know what his value is and what other teams would want and what you would get back. So to me, a move like that, 5-3-0, that would clearly tell me that the Kings are choosing De'Aaron Fox. And I do think that is a move that would be enough to keep De'Aaron Fox. Do the Kings want to give up 2 firsts and Herter and Lyles for John Collins and Walker Kessler? I don't know. My guess is no, because I don't think they want to give up 2 firsts for anybody. I don't know, but that is something I would, if I were the Kings and I wanted to keep De'Aaron, that is something that I would for sure look at. Somebody else is bringing up Kevin Herter, and I really don't want to bag on Kevin Herter too much because, this is just what happens every time the Kings lose. But there are conversations to be had, and I'm trying to find it right here. Not going to freak out over one loss, but it's honestly just getting awkward. This is why I wanted to bring it up, because the 916 says it's honestly just getting awkward with Kevin Herter. Got to move him, and they make a joke about what they would move him for, and I'm not going to read that part of it, but it would be very little. And we have discussed this because my thought process was Kevin Herter, from an awkward standpoint, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing Kevin Herter. When you're winning, there's no conversations to be had. Kevin Herter was on the bench. He was celebrating while the Kings were winning. Not a problem. The Kings start losing games again. Could there be some awkwardness? Kevin Herter has said things in the past where it's, if I was out there, I would have been able to help, or whatever the case may be. That this was last season with Mike Brown. But I don't think you have to lose Kevin Herter for less because, and again, look, maybe 916, maybe you know more about the locker room, or you're reading some of the tea leaves. I'm not seeing them. I don't think it's bad enough to where you just have to move Kevin Herter because you're worried about how awkward it could be in the locker room. I don't see that. Now, if they get back to losing and the vibes aren't as good as they've been when they're winning, if they keep going 7-1 every set of 8 games, Kevin Herter is going to be very happy with whatever his role is. If that's not the case moving forward, maybe we'll get there, but I don't personally see a situation now where you have to lose Kevin Herter for less value because you're worried about it affecting the team. I don't see that right now. Not yet. Maybe you saw something I didn't, 916, but I don't see that right now.
Yeah,
I don't see that right now.
I don't think that's the direction that this is headed. If they continue to win games, Brennan brought up the numbers that we talked about on the show in his story about how Keon's getting more minutes. They're incorporating Devin Carter. Clearly, those are the players that they have long-term aspirations for with the franchise, not just because of age, but because of what they bring on the defensive side of the ball, and to a certain extent, offensive side of the ball. Kevin Herter has his game, but he is a rhythm and shooting based player, and he was better in that starting role and not being part of the closing lineups than he is in this weird role of 4-minute spots here and there where he comes in. So obviously they prioritize those guys as part of the long-term future, but that doesn't mean they have to make a trade right now, because Kevin Herter's value, I know this is a weird thing to say, but his value goes up when you get to the offseason and he's on that expiring contract, because teams value that cap flexibility, especially in the new CBA where a lot of teams spent money not thinking that the luxury tax penalties would be as harsh. Having expiring contracts like Kevin Herter have more value in the offseason if the Kings decide, okay, we're retooling this roster and Kevin might not be part of our long-term future.
Yeah, and last night was just a rough go for him. I'll say this to make it positive in any way that I can. He tried to understand the assignment as far as Malik Monk being out. That was one of the more aggressive games offensively I've seen from Kevin Herter. He got in, and in the span of, I was texting the roundtable, in the span of what it felt like 2 minutes, he had put up 4 shots. So he understood Malik is out. Somebody has to step up. He just wasn't hitting them.
He had the most minutes of any player off the bench yesterday.
Yeah, he just was not hitting them, unfortunately. He ends with 7 points. He took 4. He was 1 of 4 from 3-ball land. He missed a layup or 2. So it was just a tough go for Kevin Herter. I'm not going to let that define him. And I'm definitely not. It's been too long now, right? If you wanted to just move off him and lose some value, you could have done that. But at this point, just be stubborn as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and the other part of it, too, was Keon Ellis got into foul trouble real early in that game. So that led to some weird lineup combinations where Devin Carter was playing the 3 at times for the Kings. They had some weird mixes and matches going through the second quarter of that game. But I don't think we could take a lot from that because they were already down 25 points and had no Malik Monk.
All right. Trade restrictions have been lifted for the below 18 players. We'll tell you who those 18 players are on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came back to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
If you are going to an event, you need to bring cash, just knowing that you're going to get a hot dog afterwards. Everyone's getting one of those, right? I assume every patron buys one of those after a game, and I do.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stay strong, but I don't feel great about my chances. All right, how about some chances on these players who their trade restrictions have been lifted, and there are 18 players. 96% of the league is now trade eligible. That's from Bobby Marks, who recently re-signed ESPN. So good for Bobby. He does great work. Brooklyn, and I know people are gonna be juiced up at some of these names.
I haven't seen the list yet, so this is the first time I'm hearing some of them.
So some of these guys, they recently signed, but now that it's January 15th, they are eligible to be traded. Okay, let's start here with Brooklyn's Nicholas Claxton. That is a name. Here's a guy who is a big body. I got to admit, just from a Brooklyn Nets standpoint, I'm pretty sure he is just your classic big. He's a little bit slight in terms of his body type, but he is a big man. I don't think he is somebody who would want to come off the bench at this point in his career.
I would guess not, but you look at his contract, he's making $27.5 million this year, and then it declines over the next 4 years to $20 million. So
there you go.
He's only going to get cheaper from here.
Another name, we are going to go quick here because I know a lot of people have feelings about this name, but he can play at times. Miles Bridges on the Charlotte Hornets. He is now trade eligible. Next name, the Chicago Bulls, another name we've seen before, Patrick Williams.
Ooh.
I was really big on Patrick Williams that draft coming out of Florida State. He's a guy who I think the Bulls aren't really sure what to do with him. He competes on the defensive end. He's a wing. I mean, definitely an interesting. I don't know if he's still considered a prospect in his second contract.
His contract is going to inform what Keegan gets from the Kings this offseason because he got a 5-year, $90 million contract. I would assume Keegan gets a little bit more than that.
And you would think that the Bulls are willing to part with him because they took a little long to give him that contract. I think they were trying to figure out what they were doing there. They end up giving it to him, and I think it's because they figured, okay, once we get to January, somebody might want to take a chance on him.
I guess. I really don't know what the Bulls are doing at all.
Yeah. Next on the list, another name. We got to check how much he's been playing. Can I interest you in an Obi Toppin? Why not? I like Obi Toppin.
What is Obi Toppin? Obi Toppin's barely getting minutes on the Pacers.
Exactly. So he
he will barely get minutes on the Kings.
No, that's not how that works. Give me Obi Toppin at 13 mil, 12.9 mil. It does go up. 14 mil after that.
How many
then
years?
15. It's a 4-year deal.
Yeah, no thank you. No.
It's a 4-year deal. Hold on now. 12.9 million this season, then 14, then 15, then 16.
Yeah, you're not doing a good sell job there. Not only am I stuck with Obi Toppin at 13 million a year, but I have to hold on to it for 4 years.
See. 38 games played this season. Obi Toppin is averaging 10.3 points, 4 rebounds, 1.7 assists, shooting 54% from the field, shooting 35% from 3, 82% from the field. Give me Obi Toppin.
I need there's one stat you're leaving out there. What is the minutes per game number?
The minutes per game. Okay, you want to put it out on Jump Street. He's playing 19.6, playing 20 minutes per game.
Yeah, that's like the 8th man off the Pacers.
20 minutes per game. I don't know. I'm interested in the Obi Toppin.
Are you going to trade a first-round pick?
Okay,
for
let me ask you this, and I don't know what I shouldn't say unfortunately, but he's not expiring. Who do you like more, Trey Lyles or Obi Toppin?
Push.
I don't know about that. I will say this though. The problem is, I would do Kevin Huerter. If Kevin Huerter was expiring this season, this would be absolutely perfect.
Okay, so 3-team trade. 3-team trade for an expiring contract. Herter goes somewhere else, and they end up with Obi Toppin.
I mean, the Pacers might still be interested in a Kevin Herter. As far as the shooting, and Tyrese Halliburton don't want to shoot.
The Pacers have had plenty of chances to trade for Kevin Herter. If they wanted him, they could have had him.
Well, here's another one. So Obi Toppin at $12 million, then it goes up to 13 and 14. I'm interested. Give me Obi Toppin. Next name on the list from the Los Angeles Lakers. This guy actually kind of killed the Kings. Max Christie. No. How are you going to? No.
Because he's on a rookie.
No.
Max Christie, what is Max Christie's contract? He is starting for the Lakers right now, and he's been fine. Let me see the contract.
He's been fine.
$8 million a year. $8 million a year for 4 years.
Why do you want more guards?
I'm not saying
Why do you hate the Kings?
I'm just saying Max Christie versus Kevin Herter, or do you want Max Christie at 8 or Kevin Herter at 18?
Well, that's true, but yeah, I would take that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm taking Obi Toppin over Max Christie.
Okay, but I don't want Obi Toppin on the Kings.
I do. Next on the list, give me Scottie Pippen Jr. Yeah. And he has been playing well for the Grizzlies, but I think it's one of those things where he's a really good player. If your team, he's kind of like the situations where a player plays really well once your season is kind of cooked, but their season isn't cooked. Kelly Oubre, when the Sixers couldn't get their starting wing to actually play, Kelly Oubre did a really good job. But do I want Kelly Oubre to be at the helm? No.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Scottie Pippen Jr. is a bucket getter, but he's not good enough of a bucket getter to be like an NBA starter.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird setup for him, but no thank you.
Next on the list, from Miami, he's been a Kings killer in the past, Haywood Highsmith. Yeah, I'd be into that.
What is his contract? Let's see where Haywood Highsmith is at. I mean, Miami might be looking to sell off some pieces here. It's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's 6'5", so
2 years, $11 million.
Sure. Not number one on my list. You know who number one on my list
Flip
is.
him for Jordan McLaughlin. I don't know.
Now we're talking here. I got some names from the number one team in the Western Conference, and I'll tell you who they are, and we'll finish off the list on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Snatch De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy with $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Based on 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tom's Watch Bar has the best happy hour in Sacramento, starting with $5 specials all day, every day. Plus select $7 appetizers and $12 entrees. With 360-degree viewing and game day vibes that match being at the game. Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for sports fans.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
96% of the league is available for trade starting today, January 15th. We are 15 minutes away from Brendan Nunez joining us. Speaking of Bobby Marks just dropped, he doesn't typically do this, but Bobby Marks just dropped an article with some trades that could change the trade deadline, and we're going to give you the trade that he has with the Sacramento Kings, and it is very unique. And y'all know how I feel about this dude that it includes. I'm not going to tell you who it is. That's coming up later in the show. But there is a trade Bobby Marks is talking about who doesn't normally dip his toe into these types of trades. And to the 916 on the line, it ain't Kuzma and it ain't Cam Johnson. So you're not going to want to miss that coming up. Maybe during the Brendan Hour. Maybe we'll do it during the Brendan Hour. And it's really called the Brendan Hour since Frankie Cardicelli will not be able to join us as Frankie is doing his Frankie thing. Okay, we have these names that we were going through that recently signed. So their trade restrictions have finally been lifted starting today, January 15th. And I teased you with these next two names. I think the Kings would be interested in either of them when you talk about how much wealth certain teams have versus what the Kings are lacking. Kyle, can I interest you in two dudes?
Oh, okay.
From Oklahoma City.
Oh, I love that team.
Today, Aaron Wiggins is trade eligible. And today, Isaiah Joe is trade eligible. Hey, if they're on those, it's one of those things where if you're on a winning team, everyone just thinks you're better than you actually are. In my mind, Isaiah Joe's really good because every time I see him, he's hitting a random three. He only goes 6'3", but every time I see him, he's hitting a random three for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
The craziest thing about Isaiah Joe is that he could have been on that champion Boston Celtics team because when the Celtics got Al Horford after Al Horford was released from his Oklahoma City prison to go back to Boston, Boston just threw in Isaiah Joe as a salary filler. Like they just gave up on Isaiah Joe for no reason other than just salary filler. And to think, look at what he's become now as a contributing piece on the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder.
So there you have, those are two dudes from the Thunder.
I don't think we're going to get either of them, but we can.
No. Here's a big body for you, Ayo, Orlando Magic, Goga Badaze. What are we talking about?
I don't need another center.
Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do.
What is Goga Bataze going to give us?
Let me tell you what he's going to give you. First of all, he's 6'11". Second of all, in 36 games, he's averaging 9.6 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2.4 assists. He can pass the rock. He's shooting 61% from the field and 10.5% from three.
10.5. So he catches lobs. This is the funny thing.
68% from free throw.
Because I love efficiency rating because it's a really good number in terms of figuring out who the best players in the league are per minutes. Goga Bitadze is always at the top of that list because he's one of those dudes that just catches lobs and dunks it. Cool. He's expensive Alex Len. Got it. Thank you.
We got to see how expensive he is. But, there's something there. This is what people are talking. You want a big man. Okay, I'm looking here.
I don't.
He's only making $9 million this season, and then it does go down $9 million. I just have no clue if he's better than Alex Len.
Yeah, I just want a forward. I don't want a.
But you don't want Obi Toppin.
No, that's not about positional fit. That's an Obi Toppin problem.
By the way, just during the break, Kyle and I got into an argument here January 15th about Obi Toppin. Okay, just so you know.
We're still going at it about Obi Toppin. And my point was, I'm going to bring it on air. As soon as Indiana traded for Obi Toppin and made him their starter, you know what they said? We need a 4. No. And they traded for Pascal Siakam.
Those are two different positions.
No,
all right?
We
got to move on. We got to move on. $9 million for Goga this season, $8 million next season for Goga, and then it goes all the way down to $7 million.
Next player.
Okay?
I don't care.
Goga, 24 minutes per game. 1.6 blocks per game, 2.4 assists, like I said, and 10%. He's averaging 0.5 3-point attempts this season, shooting 10%. I love that 10%. Next on the list, the Philadelphia 76ers have 2.
I know where this one's going.
KJ Martin and Tyrese Maxey.
I'm gonna go.
Is there a world, and I don't think so, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is there a world where the 76ers, and probably not because De'Aaron's about to get paid, but is there a world where the 76ers would move Tyrese for De'Aaron Fox? That's a no, right?
I would say no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I love Tyrese Maxey. I don't want to move De'Aaron Fox, but I love
Even though I believe Tyrese Maxey might be one of the most overrated players in the NBA. I do.
And no. But there you go again. Why are you doing that?
Well, because he won Most Improved Player last year, and it was so dumb. It's like, yes, he was the number 1 on the Sixers while they were all hurt. For sure, he can be the most improved player, even though I think it was just his usage rate went up.
Charms on the Sack Chat is saying Len can't even catch no lobs. So they want
but the
Goga.
solution is not Goga Bitadze.
No, I like that when I'm hearing Charms. Todd on the Sack Chat says, imagine wanting Obi Toppin. Leave me alone, Todd. Hey, Brandon will have my back on this. All right, I got to continue to get through this list. Next on the list, this guy I think is legit. I don't know what the Suns are doing, but I would be interested. Phoenix Suns, Josh Okogie. That's a name that I really do think could help the Sacramento Kings. I don't know. Again, I don't know if the Suns are interested in moving him, but that's a guy that I think could help the Sacramento Kings. 25 games this season, 6 points, 2.9 rebounds. Believe he goes about 6'4", 6'5", but he really does work hard on the defensive end. He can hit some threes for you. I think he's hit some threes against the Kings. He is only making $8 million this season. Next season would be an expiring deal at 7.7. That's flexibility as well. Might mean the Suns might want to hang on to him. So we'll see what happens there.
If the Suns are going to blow this thing up, why not?
Next on the list, now this dude can score. Toronto Raptors, Emmanuel Quickley. Yeah, we don't need an Emmanuel Quickley. We do not need an
no thank you. At whatever he's making, $36 million a year.
I am interested here, Kyle. From Utah, the land of the Jazz, 23 years of age. At 6'5", give me Johnny Juzang. Johnny Juzang.
He signed a contract extension somewhere?
Apparently, Johnny Juzang
What was his contract?
Hey, you're going to know because he's going to be a Sacramento King pretty soon here. Johnny Juzang in 32 games, averaging 7.3 points, 2.8 rebounds, 1 assist, shooting 40% from three-point land, 41% from the field, 88% from free throw. Johnny Juzang per game. He is taking he's shooting 40% on 4.2 attempts per game. That is, I like a Johnny Juzang here. By the way, Johnny Juzang making $3 million. This is the craziest contract I've ever seen.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I've never seen a contract this dumb before. It starts at $3 million and goes
down.
Yeah, and it's a 4-year contract.
Yeah, this is bizarre.
His agent needs to be fired. That's all I'm going to say. Why would he sign for 4 years, $11 million with decreasing values?
I think I don't think the Utah Jazz will move him because that's just a great value.
Oh, I understand now. Never mind. The contract's not fully guaranteed. It's year to year. So if he's not on the roster, the contract is not guaranteed.
Give me Johnny Juzang. And last but not least, I don't want to worry anyone, but Malik Monk is now available. I repeat, Malik Monk is now available. Trade restrictions have been lifted for the below 18 players. Malik Monk is now available. Will we see if this again? The Kings are starting from basically it's basically the beginning of the season. They're a little bit behind, but if we all thought they were probably going to be between a 4 and a 6 seed, or maybe the play-in anyway, the Kings are starting fresh now. What happens next is the most important thing. Because there's not a lot of time with the trade deadline. Don't get me wrong, but this 3-game set coming up, as funny as it sounds, very important to see. Was this a fluke from the Sacramento Kings, and you want to blow the whole thing up, or are you guys really legit? We're running out of time with this trade deadline, but Malik Monk is now available.
And apparently Stiles really wants Obi Toppin. That's what we've learned from this segment.
And give me Obi Toppin right now.
You love Obi Toppin, and Malik Monk's contract is now officially eligible.
That's right.
Was there any?
Johnny Juzang has the best contract in the NBA.
Is it the best or the worst?
Well, for the team.
Yeah, for the team, sure. Which I guess now I understand it's year to year. Hey, you want Johnny Juzang? You can have him when he gets waived at training camp time.
Well, I need you to not be disrespectful. Brendan Nunez is coming up next. What I want everyone to do during the break is look up Obi Toppin highlights. Look up Obi Toppin highlights.
No, that's how they get you. No.
Is this the guy that can save the Sacramento Kings? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
KHTK-HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Well. You never know who's going to pop in here at Sacktown Sports with Frankie Cardicelli out. And Frankie is still trying to work at the hospital. I mean, what are we doing here, Frank? And who walks in? Brandon Nunez walks in. But who else walks in? The one, the only, Chris Watkins.
Yes.
Chris Watkins.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
yes.
I was told that I would have 15 minutes on Sam Darnold.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. If you want to start there, you know what?
We can end there.
Okay. We will definitely.
Can I have a lemon?
Yeah.
What's going on with the lemons?
Yeah. Somebody brought the lemons.
Thank you.
There's a lot of lemons in studio.
Yeah, and it smells great in here.
Does it?
What do they say?
To the left-hand side,
what do they say, Kyle?
When life hands you lemons.
That's true.
Yeah,
and the lemon that I would like is one Obi Toppin. But we're gonna get into all that.
Yeah, why are you talking about Johnny Juzang on the show right now, bro?
These
Shout
are
out UCLA.
These are all the trade restrictions have been lifted. Okay, so the last 18 players, Johnny Juzang was on that list from Bobby Marks. Don't know if you've heard of him or not.
Yeah, I have.
So, and another name that was on this list was, of course, Malik Monk. Obviously, nobody wants to move Malik Monk, but just some of the names that came up: Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Patrick Williams on the Bulls, Obi Toppin, Scottie Pippen Jr., Haywood Highsmith, Max Christie, OG Anunoby, and Precious Achua. I actually don't know if I ever read that during the past segment, just because they're not moving OG.
Where is he now?
OG?
No, Precious Achua.
He's on the Knicks.
Oh, I didn't know he was still there.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why they're trying to move him. Emmanuel quickly. Josh Okogie, a name that I found interesting. So guys like that doesn't mean that they will be moved. Tyrese Maxey's on this list, but they can be moved, right? Just like Malik Monk as well. Guys, let's start here, kind of how I started the show off as well. What is your biggest takeaway from the win streak?
I'd probably say the defensive growth that they had during that streak. I mean, that and their clutch performance for the most part, but they had a 106.5 defense rating. That's third in the league during that stretch. Their offense was still good, about seventh, but defensively they just took it to another notch. I thought Keegan Murray getting fully healthy after dealing with that ankle for what seemed like about a month, that was definitely lingering. I feel like he's moving better now. And obviously Keon Ellis getting more run. There's those 2 games that Keegan Murray misses. De'Aaron Fox then misses 3 in a row. Malik Monk misses last night. That's 6 games where Keon Ellis got to start and play considerable minutes. And, he's the deflection king of this team, really. He just constantly is doing that out there, still hitting his threes. I think Devin Carter playing a little bit more has played into that. And everybody just playing their role a little bit for the most part. But I think that it's been the defensive growth that they showed during that stretch that is probably most encouraging. And then didn't really show up in Milwaukee, but Giannis is a different beast to deal with.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is the overall camaraderie for sure. And just, I guess it could have been a negative, but the fact that they didn't just like completely collapse, right? It's like, I mean, you let go of Mike Brown. There's like underlying tension of whose fault is this? And, guys are picking sides and things like that. I think there was a real chance for during this streak, like we saw them lose to the Lakers game 1. Things could have just like completely crumbled this entire season throughout this stretch. And the fact that they did like kind of use it as an opportunity to come together and, really, have a time to look at themselves in the mirror and decide what kind of team they wanted to be. Ultimately, I think it's a pretty good sign of resilience. They've gotten themselves out of the hole. Now they're kind of back at ground level. I think that's the next thing that we want to see is now that they're kind of got their head above water, like, where are you going to go? Are you going to drown yourself back down again, or are you going to kind of keep fighting, or is this, are you going to continue to rise? I think the fact that this team is still a team, honestly, is probably the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, and I feel the same way just as far as the expectations, because with the Sacramento Kings, we've always kind of understood that when they needed to have urgency or when their backs were actually against the wall, whether it's in an actual game or just the season in general, they do tend to show up more.
They would play different, right?
They would play
I don't
different.
know if they would win, but they would, all of a
at
sudden,
least give a better effort.
For sure.
Now that they're in a position to where, okay, we're right where everybody kind of thought that we would be, and now things are starting in January. We're past Christmas. Now it's time to go. Will they be able to generate that same urgency? That's not something that we've seen from the Kings the last couple years. That's what I'm waiting to see. All of the motivational talking from Doug Christie, it's all been great. Now that you lost the game, what happens next?
Yeah, I think it's where they're going to even out to, because they're coming off this high of this win streak and everything was rolling. That was right on the back of a 6-game losing streak. I feel like we've been saying for a while that one win streak can change everything here. And the fact that you lost 6 straight right before that just meant you kind of just evened it out. You're back to 20-20, right? 500. But I think the clutch scoring has been a big difference. They were 6-13 in clutch games before this winning streak. They go 4-0 during that. It's the style of how they won these games. Even that double overtime against Miami, obviously pulling that one out. I think the first front to back win where they weren't losing for a single minute against Golden State on the road was an impressive one, but where are they going to even out to here? Because shots are starting to fall a little bit more. You're getting fully healthy for the first time all season long. Now you have little nagging things here and there, obviously. But I think it's where you're going to be even out to, because the production they were on and that trajectory was unsustainable to an extent, but you're not going to be the first defense, the third defense, but where are you going to fall as this all sort of starts to, fall into place here as the season goes on?
Has your expectation changed for the Sacramento Kings? Kyle and I were kind of talking about this, because in one breath I say, you know what, right where they're at and the momentum that they have, I see no reason why they can't be a 5 or a 6 seed. Then I looked back at the standings and saw, well, they don't have the tiebreaker for really any of the 3 teams in front of them. They are, again, dealing with, as much as we love Doug Christie's still getting his sea legs under him as a coach. What exactly should the expectations be for the Sacramento Kings? Should it be do you expect them to be out of the play-in, or is your expectation that they'll be a high play-in team, maybe even higher than last season?
I think it's sitting on the fence, but I do think it's true that they really are on the cusp of the play-in, in my opinion. Like, I think that with how they're playing right now, I think the expectations should have changed. I think, as they are different places in the standings and different possibilities become reality. I think you have to adjust your expectations. And yeah, I think before this winning streak, you probably should have expected them at best to be a 10 or a 9 seed. Now that they're, again, back above water here, or at least treading water, I think it's okay to expect them to be at least partially the same expectations that we had at the start of the season. Can you escape the play-in? I think that's ultimately where, if you were to ask the team right now, that's probably where their mentality is at, is first and foremost, get out of this play-in situation, get a top 6 seed. I think there's a chance they can still, much exceed that. I think, they haven't made a trade yet. They still haven't done that big swing. I think that's the move that this team will finally start to feel like more of a completed puzzle. But until that happens, I think the expectation should be 6 seed at best, frankly. Like, if you do anything better than that, I think that's 100% exceeding the expectations at this point.
I think the run convinced me to not change off my expectations that I had at the very beginning of the year. Because when they were losing that 6 straight and kind of trending downhill, 13-19 at that time, I started to be like, I don't know, man, maybe this team is not even like they're going to fight to make it into the play-in. Are they even going to get out of that? And this run obviously evens things back out. And I think I'm back to where I was at the beginning of the year, that they're going to have a puncher's chance in the first round. But first, you got to worry about getting out of the play-in. I think they have a chance to slide up to all things considered, there's no reason that you couldn't get up to like 4.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's crazy in the West, and it's highly competitive. I think if you get into this first round and say, I mean, really, you want to avoid the OKC Thunder,
which is so funny
100%,
because
100%.
they were the team that last season everybody said, "Oh,
Right,
you
welcome.
want to see
Right,
OKC."
Well, and funnily enough, I feel like the Kings actually played pretty well against
They do.
OKC
Yeah.
this year. Wasn't a great example in their one showing, but after that, man, if you play the Rockets that are pretty inexperienced, the Grizzlies have something there, and obviously I worry about Denver a little bit, but point being, you get into that first round, and I think the team's good enough that you like to think anything could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my expectation beginning of the year, and I think that that's back to believable now.
How much time have either you when you win 7 of 8 and the one you lose is the last game on a road trip? Are we doing anything with the Bucks game, or is that just a combination of bad matchup, last game on a road trip? They had won 7 straight. They were kind of due. The Bucks were also hungry. You're not sneaking up on anybody. Are there any legit takeaways to take away from last night? Because I feel like we're all just kind of on cloud 9 that it's just one of those losses that, hey, they just won 7 in a row. I don't really care. So I honestly haven't spent much time thinking about the loss, but I'm wondering, is it just a combination of those things, or is there anything that you spent time thinking about last night?
For me, at least, it was definitely a confirmation of, this. We were not sprinkled with fairy dust or something. Like, things are real. Like, we did not have some magic elixir that fixed everything. Like, there's still very real problems with this team, and one of the problems is a problem for a lot of people, but really, you can use Giannis as the mascot for it, but they don't have anyone who can guard Giannis. And yes, of course, he's an MVP. Nobody has people to guard Giannis, but they don't have somebody to put on Kevin Durant. They don't have somebody to put on Giannis, LeBron James. The list goes on and on of all these excellent forwards that the Kings do not have any answer for, and we know that that's the weak spot of this team. So to me, it really just highlights when Domantas Sabonis is out here struggling for his life to get 16, 10, and 10, like, they need more big bodies in teams like the Bucks. Granted, that's a very specific matchup, and they didn't even have Chris Middleton yesterday, who adds to that. But the Kings need size, and I think that really was highlighted last night, that it wasn't possible for them to win that game because they couldn't match Giannis and Brook Lopez's size.
Real quick, is that specific to forward size, like you said? We've had this conversation plenty of times. The people, just to address the Valanciunas people. Do you think
they're
that's
still around? Huh?
Oh, they're around.
That's crazy. All this time.
Do you think that there is a center conversation to be had, or are you strictly focused on forwards?
Well, it's just backup center. It doesn't matter, right? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I think it does, but you don't want to spend a lot on it.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
The offense, they're easy to find, so it should make it cheap to acquire 100%. As well, is the idea. And Valanciunas is on the upper end. I think it makes sense. I mean, they went to Alex Len because they needed size. Like, I think there's a way that Valanciunas helps in that game. Yeah. Maybe instead of the Trey Lyles back up 5 minutes, which is where the Kings really got killed in that first quarter, you're going to Valanciunas, So,
but it's a regular season acquisition.
Yes.
Like, Sabonis is playing 40 minutes in the postseason.
Right, exactly. And their offense is pretty bad without Domas on the floor usually right now, but sure, like, Valanciunas helps, but he doesn't help the defensive aspect that you're talking about. You do need more forward wing size because Keegan Murray's a really good defender. I think he's a little better on guards than he is on these physical wings forwards, and they put Domas on Giannis for a lot of the game last night as well, but you can't just ask Keegan Murray to be your plug and play on literally anybody out there. Like, first off, give him a little less responsibility there night to night. And they're kind of doing that because they have no other options.
Right.
And so you need some more of those, a la some wings and forwards.
Yeah, I would say acquiring a good backup center is not worth it.
Sure. And that's
you
the
have other needs. You have other bigger needs.
That's a conversation that we've been having. But I just, because everybody likes to talk about it, I do really wish that we saw Keegan on Aaron Gordon, that game that he missed when the Kings still almost beat the Nuggets, because that's a good barometer to see, okay, what can obviously Aaron Gordon's a bit bigger, but he ain't Giannis, right? So where does Keegan fall in games like that? Another thing I'll take away, and this is kind of from what you said, Chris, with the fairy dust thing, is that I've been talking about who are guys that you just can't, I call them untalkaboutable. Right, so you can't talk about Malik Monk.
Is that more than untouchable? Less than untouchable?
I think it might be more than untouchable.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, like you can't even bring it up.
Talk about them. And Malik Monk is number one, has been number one on my list just from
Untalkaboutable.
We're just going
Untalkaboutable.
to talk about the untalkaboutable
Right.
people.
But I'm
Actually,
not talking about. But
fact.
I'm not
Okay.
talking about.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Malik.
We're talking about not talking.
That's
Got it,
right.
got it.
The
I'm a
guy I'm
pizza
gonna.
guy.
Thank you.
The guy I'm going to talk about, who a lot of people don't talk about, is Keon Ellis. And Keon Ellis is still growing. And Mike Brown used to talk about this, Keon Ellis, because he is giving the Kings more than any of us expected. Keon Ellis has kind of moved into that everything Keon does, has that pixie dust on it. And we saw last night, he's still young in this game and he can still get got. Dame did not have too much trouble on Ellis Island last night, and neither with Devin Carter. So, something last week was, do the Kings have the best guard rotation? Y'all got to stop being disrespectful because the Kings haven't done, or defensive rotation. They haven't done anything yet. And last night,
the best defensive guard rotation.
That's what this is during the win streak.
Whoa.
That's what somebody was
Boston
about.
Drew Holiday
and Derek White.
That's what I'm saying.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying. Whoa. And last night, you see stints, and Keon did a great job offensively making up for Malik Monk. But there are certain stints where you see, okay, so you don't have a stopper for the 4, and your guard stopper is in his second year in the league as a two-way, formerly a two-way player or a rookie. And I guess that's the other thing with De'Aaron. We keep running around calling De'Aaron a two-way player. At what point is he going to guard the other guy?
I mean, I think if Keon's out there, you might as well have Keon do it.
I'm just saying, if Keon getting cooked, and there were times last season where De'Aaron said, "Hey, I got him."
Yeah.
I guess I'm just saying we're starting to see not cracks in the armor, but just what Chris was saying, the pixie dust. You don't have anybody to guard the 4 besides Keegan, and your guard rotation is still pretty young.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, you need more. It's the same thing that we've known. You have an imbalance here. Kevin Huerter is getting his minutes really cut throughout this whole process, and I think naturally somebody is going to sort of get the short end of the stick in all of this, and it makes sense. And that's part of the reason, like we mentioned earlier, that their defense has been so good throughout this run. But you need more size with it. You need more length. You need athleticism, ideally. And I think that they could really benefit from getting that. They're trending in the right direction right now. That as cliche as it is, I think the energy with a group matters, and just how they're feeling and their spirits, their confidence is really the main aspect of that. And when you look around, like already thinking you got a good group, and then you acquire another guy, that can inflate some things sometimes. And so I think there's a lot of aspects that just point to the obvious, that they need to make a move. And we've seen a bunch of reportings that they plan on making, like they're not plan on, but doing everything they can. And
everybody's
sure,
doing everything.
We've heard it
they
before,
can.
but it feels very much so the case this time, because I think if they don't make a move right now, it's hard to see how this front office makes it through this offseason.
Wow. And with that, what move will it be? We'll talk about it on the other side. Chris Watkins, Brandon Nunez, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from jiffylube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Speaking of Kendrick, Drake dropped a lawsuit. You guys see that?
I did not.
No.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, no, he really did.
The one against Spotify?
Yeah, and UMG, he dropped the lawsuit.
Oh, like officially?
Yeah, it came out yesterday, but I don't know. It's very confusing.
Damn, that's lame.
It's pretty stupid.
Drake SoCal when Not Like Us came out, and it was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
He's claiming that
those streams might be real.
Yes. So
the Spotify inflating ratings thing.
But I think because it's very confusing, but yeah.
He's essentially saying like the algorithm pumped that song to you regardless of whether you had, like, you could have been listening to Sabrina Carpenter and then the next song would have been Not Like
And
Us.
Dave did
which
some
is crazy
yes.
because Drake has been accused of that like 5
Well, they all do it.
Yeah.
They all do it, but I guess this one was really bad. But yeah, it's something, and somehow Drake fans are still somehow Drake fans are still victory lapping, but Kyle played Kendrick, so it made me think
Watkins
of it.
hit the point, which is like, yeah, that definitely did happen. It happened to me, but at the same time, that also happens to Drake. Like, that's the game, dude. That's the game.
There you go. Well, what is the game? Wins and losses. And the Kings saw their win streak lose. It was or end. It was the biggest or longest winning streak in the NBA, guys, and it is over now, and it is time for us to look forward. And Brendan, you dropped some gems before the break as far as you don't think that the front office will still be hanging around if they don't make a move, unless they go to the second round or something.
I just think it would be a question. I think that we're already at the point where, I just wonder what their future is going to hold. There is a lot of pressure on this team to make steps in the right direction, obviously, with De'Aaron Fox. And if he decides that he wants out this offseason, then the question becomes from, ownership's perspective, or is this the front office that I trust to trade De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah.
And we don't know what that question is going to hold. So I think that, there's just plenty of reasons that we've seen with that change. Mike Brown, the head coach, is always kind of the first one to go, obviously, and you could see things trickle down. So things are trending well right now. I just think that things can change very quickly is all. And there's a lot of pressure on this front office to do something. And there's been multiple reports that they plan on doing something.
I'm running out of time here. You're running out of time here.
I mean, you have a while, February 6th.
Okay, well, there's going to be the big rush, we know, on during the trade deadline. But I'm still trying to figure out how they view this roster. And, guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. As far as the Keegan Murray thing, and I'm not trying to compare players, I was watching some Trey Murphy highlights. And when you talk about a leap, I do wonder when you're making these tough decisions, how Monty and the rest of the front office and ownership is viewing who is touchable and untouchable. I mean, during the win streak, guys, it was only Kevin Huerter. Nobody wanted to move anybody else but Kevin Huerter. You couldn't move Devin Carter, couldn't move Keon, couldn't move anybody. Now that the Kings have lost and we're coming a little bit back to reality, do you think there is actually an untouchable list, or is it depends on what we're trying to get back?
Okay, for the sake of conversation, there's an untouchable list, but nobody is untouchable, right?
Okay.
So the guys that would only be talk-aboutable if you were really talking to me, you know what I'm saying?
I like that a lot.
De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis.
Talk to me nice.
DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
And Keegan Murray. And Malik Monk.
Why don't you just keep going, Brendan?
That's it, right? No, I mean, you have a core of this team.
Yes.
Like,
and then, yes,
you'd have to really be talking to me. It'd be about some name that we have not been mentioning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not on the table at all.
Okay.
Should I shorten that into two separate
You don't
categories?
have to. You don't have to.
I think you could tier it.
Yeah, I think you
could
Chris.
tier
I
it.
think you could tier it.
Chris, please
I
tier
think
it for me.
Sabonis is in a tier by himself. I really do. I think De'Aaron Fox is a lot
Currently,
more touchable.
probably.
I think De'Aaron Fox is a lot more touchable than Domantas Sabonis. I can't imagine a universe where Domantas Sabonis is traded this season. I could see a universe where De'Aaron is traded this season.
Sure.
I think that's fair.
I'm not 100% sold DeRozan's not tradable. I won't say they will trade him or they will look to trade him, but I think he is tradable. I think Keegan has become more tradable. I don't think that they are actively shopping him.
Yeah, I was going to
Malik. I think Malik probably fits most towards the Sabonis end than anybody.
That's where I'm at.
I think that they're looking to trade Kevin Herter.
Yes, and
Trey
but they've
Lyles.
been.
But that's who they want to trade. And the other
unless
guys
somebody
that they
comes to
probably
them,
could be talked into trading since they're not trying to make some crazy splash move.
Yeah.
Are like Devin Carter, Keon Ellis is probably on the fringe of that. Just because he would be a big asset, you have to pay something to get something.
Who's more untouchable?
Devin or
yes,
Devin. You have 7 years of team control. You have 2 left for Keon. It's easy. It's easy. I like Keon a lot. I love Keon.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
That's fine.
Chris, where are you at on that?
If Brendan likes Keon or how tradable Keon is.
Devin or Keon?
Devin or Keon.
Who's more untouchable?
Who is more untouchable? Devin, I would say.
Yeah. Who do you think has more value to other teams?
Keon. For sure.
No way.
I would say Keon just because his contract. Well, okay.
Well, it depends what
I don't
team.
know. I mean, it depends how. Yeah. I mean, it also. I think this 7-game streak has changed a lot. I
agree with that.
I just don't know where it stands because of the 7-game streak. But I think Devin Carter, as a token or whatever, I think he definitely that pick, the promise, all of that makes the most sense.
You're sending out
100%. 100%. I think Keon is a very, 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 very good sweetener. A sweetener that is only for a deal that okay, the Kings really had to get this done.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out who can get moved.
I don't think they're just trying to blow everything up though.
No, I don't think they're trying to blow everything up, but I don't know if there is a world if these guys don't get to the second round, like Sam Amick said last week. I don't know that there is a world where you make a fringe move. If you make a fringe move, I don't know.
I was talking about this season till the trade deadline. I think come the offseason, I think it's all opened up again.
I agree, but they keep talking about, or Sam Amick last week said that he thinks that the Kings need to get to the second round or conference finals to keep De'Aaron happy. So the way I'm looking at this is, I don't know if there is a fringe move that's going to be made with just Trey Lyles and Kevin Herter, unless you're adding draft capital, which we know people don't want to move draft capital. I don't know if there is a Trey Lyles, a Honda Civic package with Trey Lyles and Kevin Herter, because Toyota Corolla package is gone. It's a Honda Civic package. I don't know if there is a trade like that that's going to help the team enough to keep De'Aaron. So in my mind, and this could be completely wrong, it feels like if they don't take a big swing, they're kind of saying they're okay with taking that chance that you lose De'Aaron.
I think when they fired Mike Brown, they kind of already did that. It was De'Aaron's made it clear that was kind of a guy that he really liked to have around. And so that's fine. I think we've seen teams retool when trading away their stars. There's teams that got a whole lot for some of these deals. Look at the Donovan Mitchell trade, and kind of Utah is obviously resetting now, but think of Paul George from OKC, and obviously they had to go through a reset time as well. But I think that there's decent things that you can get, and you'd still have Domantas Sabonis, you still have DeMar DeRozan, you have other guards that can kind of step up in De'Aaron's place and see if you get a Reed Shepherd, and it's I know how people don't love Reed Shepherd.
Went crazy in the G League.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as he should.
He did.
As he should.
So did Kobe Jones.
This guy was just
He's
the third pick? Third pick.
So did Kobe Jones.
But if you get
And
an
Cam
interesting piece from someone, and Anthony Black from Orlando, that can kind of fill into that spot, I think that it's already, in my mind, it's a lot would have to happen for De'Aaron to stick around at this point.
Wow. Brendan, relax. No. You
Why
said
is this
Monty. No.
crazy?
You said Monty. If he doesn't make a move, he got to
Is this
go.
surprising, though? I feel like we've been saying this.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's a bit prisoner of the moment because of the 7-game win streak. And I do think Sam Amick did bring things back to reality when he spoke. What was this? I think it was on Monday or late last week. So
it's kind of Rich Paul. The whole meeting was, what direction are we going in?
Yep.
And
they
translating that
they showed them
without
what
trying to
direction
put
they
words
wanna
in
go.
somebody's mouth. It's, hey, are we going to get better? And so far, they've done nothing.
And then a week later, they fired their coach.
Yeah, they've done nothing but
Fire
fire
the
their
coach
head
and not
coach.
make a trade.
I'm just connecting the dots here. I'm not reporting.
no,
something.
hey, I mean, this is source or not source.
Yeah, really.
All right, we got to get the Dame. We got to give Brendan the Dame Lillard so we can get to the other side. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez on the other side. In that world, where does Malik Monk fit? Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
With NBA League Pass, you can keep up with the whole league. Wait, is this for real? For real. So I can choose from so many live games? Yeah, up to 4 with multi-view. And watch my favorite players dunk? From every angle, home or away. Wow, unbelievable. Believe it, kid. With NBA League Pass, it's all possible. NBA League Pass, your home for streaming hoops.
Only select out-of-market games available and local blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
Happy new grill. Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat as we did on Christmas Eve. Bring out all the flavors of the new year with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Whitey and Napoleon Grills wish you Happy New Year. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Tom's Watch Bar has the best happy hour in Sacramento, starting with $5 specials all day, every day. Plus select $7 appetizers and $12 entrees with 360-degree viewing and game day vibes that match being at the game. Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for sports fans.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
This 49er injury report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center January 24th through 26th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Brendan Nunez, Chris Watkins join us here. We are, halfway through. Third hour of the show. And, I don't know what Brendan, it's a Wasabi Wednesday here because Brendan trying to get these dudes out the paint. Monty McNair and De'Aaron Fox. I know.
No.
I'm just kidding. But something needs to be done. And as much as I've been saying this 7-game win streak was great, we all agree on that. Then you look at the standings and you think, okay, there's still plenty of work to be done. We're going to go over the schedule and what the guys are thinking about the schedule. But real quick, I did want to address this because we knew it was going to come up once you saw what the Kings did when De'Aaron didn't play. Obviously, what has happened as far as De'Aaron saying, hey, we need to make this team, good enough to compete at a high level and make deep playoff runs. Then De'Aaron misses some games and Malik Monk does the Malik Monk thing. So I guess here's a question, guys, and I didn't really give it much play because I do think De'Aaron Fox, he's always on everyone's underrated list. But when we have these conversations about if they were to move De'Aaron Fox, is there a reason we never really discuss Malik Monk kind of sliding in? Are we being a little bit disrespectful to what Malik Monk's ceiling could be, or do we think we're seeing Malik Monk prime right now? Is there a world where Malik Monk does kind of take this mantle? And I'm not saying he'd be as good as De'Aaron, but is there a world where Malik can get maybe closer than people like me are giving him credit for?
I think there's a world. He's still pretty young, and I think the difference right now is consistency, really.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of turnovers from Malik and moments where maybe he's kind of forcing things. When you hear about guys attacking the rim and needing to make spray threes instead of forcing up tough shots, I feel like Malik is guilty of that. Obviously, De'Aaron does some of the same, but he's just elite around the rim. There's something there for sure, and I think it's part of the reason that if you do move on from De'Aaron eventually, that you feel like you can still remain whatever definition of competitive that you want to use, but where they're currently floating about, I would say. So sure, there's a world, but I think that you're starting to see him continue to progress. And I think that we're just sort of getting the beginning of what his prime will be, and he will still continue to get better. But the big difference between, I think, the star players and the really good role players is just how consistently can you do it. And I don't think Malik has proven quite yet that he can consistently be that guy on, 60 of the 82 games a year at least.
Yeah.
I think very well said. I mean, I think that's really the point, is that it's about consistency and expectations. Like, De'Aaron is expected every single night to score at least 20 points. And if he doesn't, then it's a really bad night and people are going to talk about it. Malik doesn't have that level of expectation. Like, he's been a 20 point per game scorer really since he entered that starting lineup, but it's a different kind of pressure when you're not what is he right now? Maybe the third offensive option, when more so from the other side of things, when teams are thinking, how are we going to slow down the Sacramento Kings tonight? Sure, Malik is towards the top of that list, but number 1 or number 2 on that list is De'Aaron Fox. And that's just a different level of attention that's required. And I would say as a broad scope to answer your question, yeah, I think that we definitely could be underselling Malik. I think there's a chance. We saw it with De'Aaron out. Like, maybe you not as a bad to De'Aaron Fox, but maybe you wouldn't miss De'Aaron as much as what you might think if he were to get hurt or get moved or whatever, because Malik is able to step up in that role. But I just don't know. I mean, it again, like, it could happen. Guys progress at different rates. I mean, Malik, you could argue, was the better prospect, I would say, in college than De'Aaron was. Like, Malik was the guy on that Kentucky team. I say that to say maybe, Malik was the early developer and then kind of had a little lull where De'Aaron passed him, and maybe Malik can pass him again. But I just feel like from everything we've seen with basketball throughout the years, not saying it can't happen. Jeremy Lin obviously had a wild, and that's the extreme end of it. But I just kind of feel like, you kind of have a natural progression, and the progression that we've seen from Malik just hasn't been one that says, oh, he might really, really pop down the line. And I just don't know how many guys in the league are really even like that.
Yeah, because what is it? He's got to be 27.
It's the same age as De'Aaron.
Yeah, he's
Same
26
draft.
or 27. So I do think it's just an interesting thought. And I was trying to put Malik on a different team to see how we would view that team. And it led me down this path. Guys, this is insane. I don't know what the Rockets were on, and I know he's a champion, but paying Fred VanVleet $42 million is malpractice.
Well, but they just were in a spot in their sort of development where they have a bunch of young guys on rookie deals, and it's not like it's not like you look at their team and it's like, well, they could have used it on X, Y, or Z.
Because I'm just thinking,
and now it's a
can't have
tradable.
Jalen Green run point
They
guard. I'll tell you
literally-
that. No one
they
else
did-
will see the ball.
They did literally have to, because you have to hit a
See, yeah, the
90%
floor.
salary floor,
Yeah.
or otherwise you have to pay the money anyways. It just goes to other teams.
Because I don't know how much people are going to want the contract
Just why they
back,
got Steve
but it is a
Adams.
Right.
tradable
And Dylan
asset
Brooks.
as well if you're
No.
trying to get a star.
Sure, and he's on a club option. He has a club option next season. I guess my point is I'm looking at a team like the Rockets who seem to be missing that dude. And I'm thinking in my head, would the Rockets be viewed any differently if you removed Fred VanVleet and you put Malik Monk in there? Obviously, we watch Malik Monk a lot, but I kind of feel like they'd still be looking for a dude per se, but they might get a little noisy in the playoffs with somebody like Malik. I mean, he's a big shot maker and a big shot taker.
They
Not
get
as
a
big as
little
Fred,
better.
though.
Yeah, they get a little
Fred's made
better,
him at
but
the
they're
highest
probably
level.
about the same caliber player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Close.
I like Fred VanVleet. I think Fred's a little bit better, a little bit more consistent, and
Mhm.
has done it at a higher. Like Malik, still bless him, like he's done great, but like we're still talking regular season success here.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet has played in
Fourth quarter of
NBA
Game 6 of
championship.
the
Come on
NBA
now.
Finals.
Come on now, you watch that game?
Missed it. That was a long time. And first of all, he did that, and that changed his whole career.
It did.
That's the last time I heard about Fred
That's the
VanVleet.
reverse Sam Darnold right there. That's what we like to call that.
That's the last time I heard about Fred VanVleet.
He made the All-Star team
No,
the
I'm
next
just
year.
saying he's 30.
Frederico.
He's 30 years old. Give me Malik Monk the next 5 years over Mr. VanVleet. All right, last but not least, Brendan, when it comes to what you've seen from Devin Carter so far, and again, we had some fun with the Untouchable conversation. Devin Carter, we tried to grade him on the first couple games that he had, but what have you seen from Devin Carter? Is this about what you thought you'd see from Devin Carter?
Yeah, I would say so. A lot of, the rebounding I think is really fun for him to be 6'2", 6'8" wingspan with 42-inch vertical, which matches Malik Monk's at the combine, by the way. And you see just one arm kind of sky up there competing for boards. Just to have the mindset to do that, I think you see the same thing. A guy that does that on the glass also does that for 50-50 balls. And I think you've kind of seen that. He's taken on tough challenges, a little bit of Dame Lillard. He's seen Steph Curry throughout this stretch. So I think that he's done most of what you would want. I thought that 8-0 run, or that 8-point run he had by himself at the beginning of the fourth quarter in Boston, was really big for that game to keep it close and keep the momentum going, to keep your distance from Boston and keep the momentum going in Sacramento's favor. I thought that was big. So some typical rookie moments for sure, but I think that it's been encouraging so far, and encouraging enough that he's playing over Kevin Huerter. And I think that that's kind of been the right decision.
Yeah, there are definitely some moments where I think offensively, I still have questions, but as his current role is just kind of a 3-and-D guy, and if you're another team going up against the Kings, you're gonna give him the jump shots. I mean, he makes 2-3 in a row, then maybe you'll choose to close out on him. But in a lot of not with that random lineup we saw yesterday, but in most lineups, he will be the poison that you pick. So I don't know what is going on in here. Everybody,
that was interesting timing.
Is sneezing. We got one more
lemons.
We got one more segment. We are going to look ahead for the Sacramento Kings and what do we expect from them in the next 5 games. Got Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move, that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Out on the road, there's just one place when you walk on in, you see a friendly face. It's Big O. Big O Tires.
And right now, you can roll into the New Year's savings event. Now through January 26th, get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo brand tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees, etc. were permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Don't miss more than 100 free fishing, hunting, casting, kayaking, and dog training seminars. On the weekend, take the kids to a building filled with free activities. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Start the year strong at InShape Fitness. Play basketball, try yoga or Pilates, or work with their personal trainers to create a happy new year. And look for Sacktown Sports Team before the next Kings game to grab your free Kings InShape Rally Towel. Join today at InShape.com. We are in shape. You are ready.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
One more segment. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, taking you up to 2 p.m. And all things Sacramento Kings, guys. We look ahead to we still do the next five game thing, even though that was more of a Mike Brown thing. You get the Rockets, who the Rockets are going to be coming on the second half of a back-to-back. Then you host the Wizards, which that goes without being said. The Warriors, who they're dealing with a lot of drama right now, mainstream media. But then the next two, you have to go to Denver, who's been playing really well, And then you have to go to New York, and historically, I can't wait to see how Doug Christie handles the Knicks, because we know that last season, the Knicks just got to do whatever they wanted. Keon Ellis struggled against Jalen Brunson, just the physicality of the Knicks. They actually had a decent run, the Kings did, towards the end of the season, but that was when Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter were both out. How are you viewing the next 5 games as we get closer and closer? So let's see here. They have those 5, 6, 7. So they have 10 games before the trade deadline, which is a nice, even number. But these next 5, it just gets harder after that. They got to go to OKC. They got to go to Minnesota. How are you looking at these next 5 games and what you expect to see from the Sacramento Kings?
I think this first Houston one back home is a big one. You know, a lot of times teams will maybe come off to slow starts first game back home after a little bit of a road trip. But I think the Kings have every reason to sort of be inspired right now and confident in their play, even despite that loss to Milwaukee, obviously coming off 7 straight right before that. Houston's a team they beat at home earlier in the year. It's one of their best wins of the season so far, I thought, especially prior to this streak that they're coming off of. So they're going to be hungry to try to take care of business. And it's a team that kind of tries to punk you. And I think that during this stretch, and really since Christie's taken over, we've seen them respond to that pretty well. So I think that should be telling you should definitely take care of business against Washington and Golden State, specifically Washington, obviously. That's the type of game that you get flashbacks to last year and probably the year before also, or I guess not the original Beam team year, but last year where you're just losing games that you're losing for no reason. So need to take care of business in that one, and probably Golden State as well before you see what happens on that little road trip. But I would say, you know, when it was Mike Brown breaking into 5-game increments, you want to go 3-2 in every single one of them. I think that maintaining that mindset is still good. You want to try to go 3-2 throughout this stretch.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it. I see 5 games, and I see 3 of them at home, and they're against, I wouldn't say the Rockets are an easier opponent, but, you have some opportunities to win at home, and then you have 2 really tough road games where, if you can get one of them, I think it's considered a win, and that's just going to be a part of a really long road trip that you have coming ahead here. You have to, it's as simple as what it's been before they went on that losing streak and then went on the winning streak. Like, you have to beat teams that you should beat, and the teams that are a little bit tougher, the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Wolves of the world, you have to try and at least split those games. And at the end of the season, if you end up beating up on all the bad teams and, you go 500 against the good teams, you'll end up 5 to 10 games above 500. And so I think the Kings against the Rockets, they already kind of got theirs against the Rockets. I expect that to be a comeback game for Houston, and they'll probably have something for the Kings, but you have to beat the Wizards. That can't be, if we know the Kings like I think we do, and Allen, you mentioned it earlier, that's probably going to end up being a close game. It's probably going to be way closer than it should be. You're going to sweat it out. You're going to have bad feelings about it coming into Monday, and then you're going to play the Warriors on Wednesday. That's going to be a super tight game where, again, you're at that point, if you lose to Houston and beat the Wizards, you're right back at 500 heading into that Warriors game, and that ultimately is going to decide what end of the fence you're going to end on heading into that Nuggets, Knicks, Nets, Sixers, Thunder, Wolves road trip. Like, that's those games leading into that road trip, you have to win at least 2 of them. And then again, when you're on the road, you have to beat Brooklyn. You probably have to beat Philly based off of how they've played this year. And then you're going to have to try and sneak one of Denver, Knicks, and a Thunder, Wolves to try and, again, keep yourself in the battle. They were able to take advantage of a schedule that got pretty light and had some injury advantages, but this is the reality of the Western Conference is, hey, you might have gotten an easier stretch of games, but you're right back on that horse. And it's time for the Kings to really show which team are you? Are you the team that got your coach fired, or are you the team that has Doug Christie looking like a coach of the year? And I think we're going to get at least a temporary answer for this squad the next 7-8 games. And then, like you said, I mean, we have 10 games until the trade deadline. Once they come back from this road trip, I hope that there's some new players around. Because, I mean, that seems like the most Kings thing to do is make a trade while they're, on the road, and we won't get our hands on the new look team until, until early February.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
I think that's the fun part of this, right? Is you don't know when the team's going to change from Sacramento's perspective. Like, you could play Jimmy Butler during these next 5 games. He could be on the Warriors.
Yeah,
he played against Jimmy Butler.
He could be on the Kings.
Well,
I thought that's what you were saying.
Bobby Marks
wow.
just put out a trade that had Jimmy coming to Sacramento, and they weren't losing De'Aaron Fox. They were losing
Herter, Lyles, and DeRozan.
And we've talked about DeRozan being a kind of a cheaper version of Jimmy Butler, but y'all know I don't want Jimmy Butler. The one thing, Chris, that you pointed out with this Warriors Nuggets situation is that's a kind of tough back-to-back.
That is a back-to-back. I didn't even realize that's a
So
back-to-back.
you host the Warriors,
yeah.
Then you get on the road
elevation
to the Nuggets.
I think you lose an hour too.
Yeah, so that is a game where the the Rockets, I honestly don't know how to call it, but you have to be 2-1 heading to Denver. And the reason you have to be 2-1 at least going into Denver is not because Allen said so. It's because you're still digging yourself out of this dang hole. Because then you got to go. You're going to New York, then Brooklyn, and Brooklyn, they got you at home. So let's not act, when we don't know if Cam Johnson will still be on the team, whatever the case may be. Dennis Schroeder didn't even play. Dennis Schroeder nor Nick Claxton played against the Kings last time, and they still beat the Kings.
Who went off in that game?
I have
Wasn't
no
it like
clue.
Day'Ron Sharp or something?
No. I know
it wasn't
Noah
back
Brown.
big, though. Noah Clowney.
No, Noah Brown's on the
Noah Clowney.
Noah Brown caught the Hail Mary for Washington.
De'Ami Brown.
That's right. Noah Clowney hit like 4 threes.
Yeah, Noah Clowney went off for the Nets. So a lot of these games, guys, and there have been conversations about the Sixers maybe shutting down Joel Embiid. I don't know what they're doing there, but this is a really tough stretch. And I know we say this a lot in the media, but this legitimately could make or break the Kings season.
Yeah.
Because you're looking here and you're thinking the stretch that we just saw from the Kings, although none of us expected it, it did make a little bit of sense. The games that didn't make sense at the end was, I would say, the Warriors at the time didn't make a ton of sense, and the Celtics. But a 4-game winning streak, that did, you could understand it based on who they beat.
They were due.
The next time if they just try to go 500, which would leave them at 500 after they're done with the 10 game before the trade deadline, then you get a kind of a break.
Yeah.
Everybody will love this. You host or you go to the Trailblazers, and I don't want to assume anything there, the way they play the Trailblazers. Then for everyone who's still afraid of the Pelicans, you get the Pelicans 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
And they might actually be healthy by that point. I don't know what Zion's doing, but this one's a fun one. February 10th, you host the Pelicans. February 8th. February 10th, you go to Dallas, and then you have a back-to-back in New Orleans, Pelicans, February 12th, February 13th. So I'm trying to find where the next stretch is going to be. If I'm going to sit here and say 10 games, just stay 500, where are we seeing this next stretch for the Kings? That's what I'm struggling with.
I mean, the Blazers and Pelicans, like you mentioned,
Okay.
those are supposed to be
Yeah,
wins.
it doesn't stop there either. I mean, it's Blazers, Pelicans, Mavericks, Pelicans, Warriors, Hornets, Jazz.
The Wizards are coming up right now. We just mentioned Golden State too.
You got to stack these wins, guys.
You do, but like that, those are the games you're supposed to be winning.
Yep.
And I think that we need to keep that expectation for this team because they are that talented, and this run shows that it's there. It's there. It's just about putting it together and doing it possession after possession.
Oh no.
After possession.
Yeah.
How do you think, all right, just real quick before I let you guys get out of here, how do we think that was received because yesterday was the anniversary of the laptop.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
with
was
Mike
also
Brown.
in Milwaukee, by the way.
Exactly. And I think at that time, if I were a player, I would have thought, wow, coach is really riding for us. That after possession thing, as we see some of the cracks in the armor with what the locker room actually thought, do we think because we were all there, do we think the after possession thing, do we think that ticked the team off a little bit? Because I thought it was hilarious.
No, I don't think it ticked anyone
specifically.
off.
I think it was that week of press conferences, but I don't think it was that one. I think it was him calling out Sabonis for not boxing out Anthony Davis on that missed on that layup on the free throw on the Laker game, and then I think it was him calling out De'Aaron after allowing the 4-point play for them to notice. Both of those plays literally directly led to them losing. But yeah,
Right.
I think that him acknowledging that they singularly lost the game, and that kind of lost the locker room.
We'll see what happens with Doug Christie. This is uncharted. Now, technically, it's uncharted waters, but they did lose against the Lakers. But now, since the good vibes and the 7-game winning streak, we will see what happens there. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunes, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Vikings talk next time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, Chris. We ran out of time. Sorry, man.
So did Sam. So did Sam Darnold.
So did Sam.
Just ran out of time.
Why didn't he run at least once? He could have ran at least once.
You're talking to the guy who has been saying for 20 weeks.
But
now.
that's how you neutralize it. Just take off, Sam. He's an athletic cat.
Doesn't make sense.
We should have done this at the start.
Internal clock is just destroyed. It's
with the 9 sacks.
Lincoln
That's
at
what
12.
it ended at.
9. NFL playoff record. 9 sacks. Absolutely incredible.
And
14 wins.
But
second most wins in franchise history.
But normally, in those situations, everybody says, "What do you want him to do?" I think it was so bad.
Throw the football.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the one thing Kirk Cousins, I will give him a lot of credit for, he learned that at some point it's there's the meme of, oh, screw it, Jamar Chase got to be down there. At some point it is a screw it, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ, they're down there somewhere. And if you throw a 50-50 ball, they're going to come up with it 75% of the time, actually.
Wow. See, I still got
throw the ball.
We still got it in for you. JJ McCarthy era starting soon.
You laugh now. Just wait until Sam Darnold gets $100 million from the Raiders.
He's not making money.
He's not going to the Raiders.
All of his money.
Yeah, keep him away.
Generational bag fumble.
Keep him away from Vegas unless he's playing
He's been
roulette.
embarrassed himself on national television.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you got to drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Thanks again to Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins. Did not know Chris Watkins was going to be in the building. Shout out to Chris. Always good to hear from him. He's doing great work for us. I didn't get to give him his kudos on the air. He probably prefers it that way, but Chris is doing a great job for us in the digital section. If you follow us on social media, specifically Instagram, and obviously on X/Twitter as well, Chris has been doing great stuff, and we are excited to have him back on the airwaves, and hopefully that happen. It probably will happen more often with what's going on with Frankie Cardicelli. All right, Kyle, as we have kind of talked about De'Aaron Fox a lot today, with a lot of people coming down his road as far as his efficiency last night and some of the same effort type questions that we have had with De'Aaron Fox. I know that you have kind of broken down how De'Aaron Fox looks in terms of the all-NBA conversation, which I'm not alone in this, but a lot of people believe if he makes all-NBA and has $345 million on the table, he will remain a Sacramento King. That is the one way if you want to keep De'Aaron Fox. If you are a fan that wants De'Aaron Fox getting all NBA is, I wouldn't say a surefire way to keep him, but there are 345 million reasons for him to stay, which he will not really come close to that if he decides to turn it down and sign with another team or gets traded or something like that. It has to happen with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, it would certainly change the calculation, right? If we're talking about a difference of $100 million in a contract that, if I remember correctly, has only been signed by like 4 players, and they're like Steph Curry, Jokic, Giannis.
Yeah.
I guess Jaylen Brown.
Tatum.
I don't know if Tatum, did he get a Supermax? Anyways, so the point is not a lot of people get Supermaxes because you have to make all NBA in the year before you get the contract signed. So De'Aaron Fox right now is somewhere in that like fringe all-star category, right? We're not sure if he's going to make the all-star team, but there's still time. But all-NBA has some caveats now because you have to play 65 games. Those 65 games, you have to play 20 or more minutes. There's some very specific caveats. And so some players who are going to be in the all-star game this year, like Luka Doncic, won't be eligible to make all-NBA at the end of the season. So kind of try to figure out where De'Aaron kind of stands, and the best stat to do that is player efficiency rating. It's just a cumulative stat that John Hollinger at ESPN puts together. It's the closest stat you're going to find to like WAR in baseball or like QBR in football. It's like an eye test basically, and I believe 19 of the last 22 MVPs of the NBA finished number 1 in efficiency rating. So it's like, it's a good gauge for how good people are actually doing at this point. So I went through the efficiency rating numbers, combed through who is eligible, who isn't eligible at this point. And right now, De'Aaron Fox is 20th in the NBA. He currently ranks 20th in the NBA in efficiency rating among players who have played 75% of their team's games and have played 20 minutes in those games. And again, 15 people positionless make all NBA at the end of the season.
So he's right on the fringe right now.
Well, this is just efficiency rating. So what I want to do here is go through and yes, no, or maybe to will this player be all NBA right now? And I'm just going to keep a running tally of the names that are ahead and after Fox.
Okay.
So you have Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yes.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes.
Domantas Sabonis.
Probably yes.
Okay, we'll say yes. Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
So we'll go yes there. Jason Tatum.
Yes.
All right. Evan Mobley.
Probably yes.
Okay. We'll put Evan Mobley down for all NBA. Jared Allen.
No.
Okay. We'll say no to Jared Allen. Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
LeBron James.
Should be no. It should be no.
We'll put it maybe.
Okay.
Alperen Şengün.
No.
All right. We'll say no to Şengün. Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yes.
All right. We'll put Jaren Jackson Jr. down for all NBA. Darius Garland.
No.
No. Okay. Damian Lillard.
No.
No to Damian Lillard. Next we have Steph Curry.
No.
No to Steph Curry. Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
Donovan Mitchell, yes. Then we get to De'Aaron Fox. And right now we're at 13 definitive yeses, which means there's a chance. Now there's a bunch of names that we haven't gotten to yet because of qualification rules.
Yeah.
So for example, LaMelo Ball.
Right. If he gets there, but I mean, the Hornets do stink though.
Yes, but LaMelo Ball right now is below the threshold to get there, but it's not at the point where he can't make it still. He would just have to play, I think, like 94% of the Hornets games the rest of the season.
I will tell you right now, I am not worried about LaMelo Ball.
All right, perfect. So we won't include LaMelo Ball there.
Just from an availability perspective, to be honest.
So here's the next one. Kevin Durant obviously would be ahead of De'Aaron Fox, but he can only miss, I think, like 4 or 5 more games.
Not worried then.
Year. So then, Kevin Durant's in the tough camp there. And then Kyrie Irving.
He's just now getting back, getting healthy. I don't think so.
Again, is ahead of him and De'Aaron are basically tied right now in efficiency rating. But again, difference is he hasn't been healthy the whole season.
Yeah.
The other one who's surprisingly low in efficiency rating, I was stunned by this, is Anthony Edwards. Like Anthony Edwards is like DeMar DeRozan in terms.
Well, because he's just chucking.
Exactly. It's weird that he's having such a bad season there. So, and then there's some other names I just want to throw out that are kind of right behind De'Aaron. Cade Cunningham, maybe.
You better be careful with Cade because everyone loves a good story. That's the part of this that the numbers don't tell the whole story, right? The efficiency, the points per game. Cade Cunningham gets that team, and I got to double check here, but Cade Cunningham gets that team in the playoffs. Let's see here. Right now, they are the 8th seed. They are, and there's a bunch of different win-loss. The Pacers are the 6th seed with 19 losses as well. Don't let the Pistons get a 5 seed or a 6 seed. You could see Cade Cunningham get leapfrog De'Aaron easily.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you're talking about Steph Curry isn't even going to make it in your mind to the All-NBA, which is, the voters might just give it to Steph Curry.
And I said no to LeBron as well.
Exactly. The voters might give it to LeBron. So De'Aaron's in a group where it's like he's not completely out of it yet. The other thing that's really tough for him is that in the positionless basketball world that it is, Domantas Sabonis is going to make All-NBA this year. At least I feel pretty confident saying Domantas Sabonis is going to make at least the 3rd team All-NBA.
Well, another way to put this is you feel more confident that Sabonis will make it than De'Aaron.
Yes.
And it's really hard to get two players from one team.
Sort of.
If you're not a top 3 seed.
Yes, because this gets into the next group of players that I also have here. Because here's some of the people who are better than De'Aaron Fox, but simply will not make it. And this is the technicality thing I was talking about. Luka Doncic would be a lock first-team All-NBA. He's not going to play enough games to get there. Joel Embiid, not going to get there. Zion Williamson, not going to get there. Chet Holmgren, not going to get there. Franz Wagner, Jimmy Butler. Players who are playing better than De'Aaron Fox this year, but won't make the All-NBA threshold. So
Paolo just came back, but he's probably done already.
He doesn't even qualify here. He's only played like 7 games this year, so he doesn't even qualify on the rankings at this point.
And some of the names that you didn't bring up, a name that's been brought up a lot, funny enough, because of the ties with the Rockets looking for their quote-unquote guy, is a guy like Devin Booker. So there's a whole... it's all in front of De'Aaron. I wouldn't say it's all in front of De'Aaron, But in a way, it is all in front of De'Aaron the same way it's all in front of the Sacramento Kings. Everything they want is right in front of them. Oh, we lost you, Kyle.
I know we just went through the list a little bit there, and some of the players, centers do better in efficiency rating just by proxy of where they're taking the bulk of their shots. But at the same time, you're talking about a sport where all of your front court spots or all your big spots are going to go to Jokic, Giannis, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama, Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
That's 7 right there.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of picking and choosing between the rest to find spots. And I guess fortunately, Luka's not going to, fortunately for De'Aaron Fox, Luka's probably not going to get there. LaMelo Ball, who's the leading vote getter among guards in the All-Star game, he probably is going to struggle to reach the 65 game threshold. Kevin Durant is going to struggle to get there, and those are people that would have been locks otherwise. So it's a weird numbers game, and De'Aaron's not out of it altogether. But I mean, we just went through it, and just based on efficiency rating, we'd said yes definitively to 13 people before we got to De'Aaron at 14, which doesn't include LaMelo Ball, Kevin Durant, Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Halliburton, and by the way, we also said no to Steph Curry and LeBron James, which is, the NBA just might give them the All-NBA just for name recognition.
Yeah, this is going to be tough, man. This is going to be tough. And I do wonder if part of that conversation, when they decided to have Rich Paul talk to Monty McNair and the front office, I wonder if part of that conversation was the De'Aaron Fox camp almost assuming the worst, right? Not to say that he can't get All-NBA, but hey, this probably isn't a problem if I make All-NBA because of the Supermax, but there's a good chance that I don't. So if you want to keep me, we have to be winning. Because based on what he said on the Draymond Green pod, the difference between the max the Kings can give him if it's not a Supermax and what another team could give him once he signs that new contract, if he were to get traded or just play the rest of his contract out, which I don't think the Kings would allow that to happen. But the difference between that contract and his next contract, if it's not a Supermax, it would not be enough to keep him in Sacramento if they're not competing for championships.
Yes, in theory. And I guess in some ways this All-NBA situation is kind of the, not saving grace, but like the last resort for the Kings if they want to keep De'Aaron Fox. But then you have to ask the question, very few people believe De'Aaron Fox is a top 15 player in the NBA, right? So then you have to ask yourself the question, if we pay him top 5 money in the NBA, or at least when he signs the extension, he'll be the highest paid player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Is that something the Kings want to do? Or do they want to offer him, a super max, but, slightly less than the full super max? I don't know exactly how.
And how does he take that? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If he works his tail off and he gets All-NBA and he doesn't get, and he's sitting here just in Sacramento, it would be funny because wouldn't the argument be, well, De'Aaron, you were going around podcasts and things like that saying you wanted us to compete. What if we don't give you as much, but we did go out there and swing, right? And we got, enter a name, I'm not going to say a name, and we made the team better. We don't necessarily want to offer you the total amount that we could give you, but you went on a podcast and said it ain't about the money per se. You want to compete. So you would kind of have De'Aaron caught. Now, that's a lot of ifs in that situation, but that would be interesting if that did come to be. Okay, as we talk about the future of the Kings, I was watching this guy. I talked about it a little bit on the Kings Roundtable. I was watching this guy on the Pelicans and the leap he is taking. And the only person I could think about as I was watching was Keegan Murray. And I'm having questions in my mind about the word potential and the word ceiling. I will tell you who that is, and we will compare these two guys on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Intercepted!
by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. It's been a great show here on a Wednesday. Then after that, I headed over to that Justin Timberlake concert. Saw the return of Chris Watkins, who popped in Frankie Cardicelli's absence. Great conversation with Chris Watkins and Brendan Nunes. You can go check that out on YouTube and the Sacktown Sports app. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're gonna have some fun. It's been a while since we did Fair or Foul, but there are two very, very specific situations that I have to address. One of them I teased yesterday, but we never got around to it with the Eagles situation. There is more to that story. So Fair or Foul coming up at 1:30. And then, of course, we will have crosstalk with Mr. Kevin Michael Whitey Gleason. But first, it's been a bit, I wouldn't call it a uncomfortable conversation that we've been having about some of the players on the team, but I would at least say it's been a bit of a Wasabi Wednesday with Brendan Nunes and some of the bombs that he dropped. Like I said, you can check that out on YouTube. And I have another one for you because Kyle, and maybe this is a lead into Fair or Foul, because maybe it's not completely fair, but when I'm looking at the decisions that should be made, and I tease this text that I saw that I think I read off in the first hour, but the text was essentially talking about Keegan Murray and how much time do you want to give him, right? And what exactly you feel like you're going to get from Keegan Murray. And I started thinking about Keegan because what I've been seeing, a lot of people have been talking about this player on the Pelicans, and his name is Trey Murphy III. We are very familiar with Trey Murphy III. Over the last 5 weeks, this is from Evan Sidery, our guy from Forbes Sports, Trey Murphy III is taking the leap. 24.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, 3.2 assists per game, 37% from three. The Pelicans view Murphy as a core player, and he's one of the main reasons why they're preparing to move on from Brandon Ingram. Him, Herb Jones, and Trey Murphy, not as good defensively as Herb Jones, but he is nowhere near a slouch. He can defend the wing position very well. Trey Murphy, good size on him, all that good stuff. Trey Murphy is 6'8". Keegan Murray is 6'8". Keegan Murray is 24 years old. Trey Murphy is 24 years old. Now, one big difference here is that Trey Murphy, he is now in his 4th season, where Keegan Murray is obviously in his 3rd. So it got me thinking, and I was watching some highlights of Trey Murphy, and it got me thinking about what I put in my mind when I hear the word ceiling. And maybe I'm a bit one note when I hear the word ceiling, when I hear the word untouchable, when I hear the word potential. And Kyle, this might not be fair, so I need your help and I need the listeners' help as well, 916-339-1140. I'm looking at Trey Murphy and his career, and everyone's saying he's taken the leap. His first season, he averaged 5.4 points per game. Second season after that, 14.5. Second season after that, 14.8, right? So those 2 seasons, basically the same thing. This season, in, of course, not as many games, 25 games so far, he's averaging 21.5 points per game. But here's the other thing I thought about. That team has missed a lot of guys. And if you remember, Trey Murphy, when the Kings played the Pelicans, I believe he was the top scorer on the team. High value. So is it fair for me to look at Trey Murphy and say he's got a higher ceiling than a Keegan Murray and he should be viewed as that's a real untouchable guy versus Keegan Murray and maybe having the purple lenses on? Or should I be asking the question to myself, what would Keegan look like on a bad team? Would Keegan's numbers look a bit better on a bad team? Now the Kings aren't the 1 seed in the West, don't get me wrong, but as far as the usage rate, maybe it's more about usage versus a good team, bad team. I'm trying to figure out what to do with a Trey Murphy III who is literally the exact same setup as a Keegan Murray, but when I watch him, I am way more convinced that that's a ceiling that I wouldn't want to move off of versus Keegan.
Well, I think the answer to your question is to go back and look at the numbers of Trey Murphy compared to both his career averages and Trey Murphy on this Pelicans team. Because I'm looking at it right now. He is the second leading scorer on the Pelicans this season.
Yeah.
The only person ahead of him is CJ McCollum, and it's fractions of a percent, basically. It's CJ's 21.9, Trey Murphy's 21.5. So Trey Murphy is the second leading scorer, and Brandon Ingram is around that number 2, but he hasn't played very much this year.
Right.
So Trey Murphy has been essentially their second leading scorer for most of the season. Now, if you look at Trey Murphy compared to the past, he's taken 16 shot attempts per game this year. His previous career high was 11. His field goal percentage is up from last year at 45%, but lower than where it was 2 years ago when he was only taking 10 shots a game.
Right.
His effective field goal percentage, which is just if you take all of his shooting and account for the fact that threes are worth more than twos, he's effective field goal percentage is worse than it's been the last 2 seasons. So he's taking more shots, but he's not as effective of a shooter. He probably should be scoring more points per game given what his numbers have been in the past. His free throw shooting is up to 92% though, so that's pretty good. Career high at the free throw line for Trey Murphy. So just at a quick glance, and I would need to do a deeper dive to the numbers, this looks like a case of if you're doing not a blame pie, what's the other thing you call it? Credit cake.
Yes.
If you're doing a credit cake, it seems like greater than 50% of the credit cake is a young player getting opportunity because he plays for a team that has a lot of injuries and a team that is the worst in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and then it begs the question as we have conversations about what happened with Michael Porter Jr., who was on a championship team and really kind of got a little bit stagnant, or dare I say, I know he's a little bit younger, Jonathan Kuminga, who got drafted to a really good Warriors team, didn't get to spread his wings. Now I wonder what happens to Trey Murphy. I guess the short answer is to be continued, because if they get their guys back and Trey Murphy has taken this leap because he was balling while everybody was injured, then it can help. But if he kind of regresses or just turns back into who he's been, then it was just, funny enough, a lot of what Chris Watkins says about the Jeremy Grants of the world, guys like that, he was just cooking on a bad team. The Lauri Markkanen thing as well.
Well, I think the difference is, so he was coming off the bench for much of the last season for the Pelicans. What I think the bigger thing is that he is good enough to replace the value lost by Brandon Ingram not being there anymore, right? He was drafted in 2021. that was the year that Brandon Ingram, the year prior, made the All-Star team and was the most improved player in the league. I think that was his first year with the Pelicans, maybe his second year with the Pelicans. But Brandon Ingram was, I would say, at the best Brandon Ingram has ever been when they drafted Trey Murphy. And now 3 years later, Ingram's played out that contract. Murphy just got his first contract extension. I think they look at it like Trey Murphy costs less and is giving near equal production to Brandon Ingram so that they can now play a Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson lineup instead of a Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, Zion, and Trey Murphy off the bench lineup.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see Keegan, probably more so what he was doing at Iowa when he just had the ball in his hands more often. But I started looking at that thinking, should Keegan be viewed as untouchable? And I do think that there are levels to things, but the usage and the teams that you're on, also a big part of it as well. All right, on the other side, a little bit of fair or foul, a great gesture by the Spurs, and Wembanyama goes wrong in the Eagles fan situation. We teased this yesterday. There is more to that story. Then, of course, more Kings talk. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Tom's Watch Bar has the best happy hour in Sacramento, starting with $5 specials all day, every day. Plus select $7 appetizers and $12 entrees. With 360-degree viewing and game day vibes that match being at the game. Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for sports fans. Start the year strong at InShape Fitness. Play basketball, try yoga or Pilates, or work with their personal trainers to create a happy new you. And look for Sacktown Sports team before the next Kings game to grab your free Kings InShape Rally Towel. Join today at InShape.com. We are in shape. You are ready.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center January 24th through 26th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy with $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing leases and other offers. Used on 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Happy New Year! Coach Christie here letting you know it's never been easier to drive into the new year in a new Kia. Take advantage of special low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit right now at Folsom Lake Kia.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Getting back to that conversation comparing Trey Murphy III and Keegan Murray, UPS Chris says, foul when I asked fair foul. Foul. If Domas and Fox were out for 40 games, Keegan would be putting up 25 a game also. You're probably right, but I can't see it. I'd like to see it,
Not
actually.
all 25 of games are created equal, though, is the
Yeah.
other thing. Like, Trey Murphy is putting up 21 and a half a game, but he's taking 16 shots a game, which is third most on the Pelicans. So, like, yeah, he's playing like a number 3. Or
Right.
number 2.
But you know what's funny about that is that now going into next season and the more we're intertwined with this age group of under 25-year-old players, then now this is something to where, to UPS's Chris's point, now this is something where when ESPN does the top 25 under 25 next season, Trey Murphy's he might have already been on it, but if he wasn't on it, he'll be on it. If he was already on it, he'll probably go up without the context of that team stunk and they were just putting up a bunch. He was just putting up a bunch of shots. That's not to take away from him.
That's true, but I also wouldn't hold that against him because it's not.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, because it's not just like Zion and Brandon Ingram have been out. It's like Alvarado has missed games.
Right, somebody got to do it. But on the other hand, they add DeMar DeRozan. They might even add somebody else. Keegan is just going to get completely buried in this conversation because his usage is nowhere near what some of the other 25 and under players are.
Yeah, they're like 3 injuries away from actually being a competitive team. It's not just like, oh, they took away Zion and Brandon Ingram and now look at Trey Murphy. It's like that entire team has just been decimated by injuries this season.
Well, and last but not least, even Trey Murphy, he hasn't played every single game. So his sample size, he's played 25.
He's missed 15 games this year.
Exactly. Great conversation. Great stuff. 916-339-1140. About to get into this fair or foul. Before we get that music going, Kyle, let's hear from Mitch. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Mitch? What you got for us?
How's it going, Alan?
Hey.
Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I agree with. I think our problem is the front court. We need size, and I know they signed DeMar, and you have Keegan, the kind of the same player. Just do a penny. I wish we could trade for Herb Jones. That might cost somebody good. I don't want to give a first-round pick. But what about Zion? I think his value has gone down. You think we can get him without giving out a lot, especially a first-round pick?
Thanks for the call, Mitch. The Zion thing, I don't really want to be around the players that are connected. If there's any conversation about you being connected to New York or anything about a big market, I don't want to do it. So Zion, you don't know when he's going to play. Then on top of when he is actually going to play, then after that, you don't know if he wants to play for Sacramento. No, thank you.
Zion and Sabonis don't make sense together.
No, thank you. And now we have 916 saying, how does what some dude is doing on some other team have anything to do with Murray or any conversation about the Kings? That's from Scott. Well, Scott, thanks for missing the whole point. Appreciate you, Scott. All right, let's get into some fair or foul. Wait for this beat to drop.
Every time.
All right, let's do some fair or foul. It's been a while since we've done this, and I wanted to start here. A lot of people, they've seen what has gone on with the Eagles-Packers game and how in the Eagles-Packers game there was that couple, all right? And with the couple, there was an Eagles fan. Eagles fans already don't have a really good reputation.
No birds.
The Eagles fan is just really being disrespectful to this woman. Okay, and
like we can't play it on
no,
the air.
We can't play any of it.
Like I could try and bleep it, and we can't play it.
No, he's going crazy, calling her a bunch of names that are worse than the names that you probably think that he called her. So we had a situation where this thing has blown up because initially it was, and it still is. Don't get me wrong. Hey, that is not how you handle yourself at games. Is completely disrespectful. Where this thing is evolving into is now I'm doing some reading, okay, and I'm seeing that the fiance, the guy, is a content creator. So basically, he has his channel, whatever it is. He's gone in with the camera on his chest, and the whole thing was we are going to annoy, or we are going to tick off Eagles fans. We don't necessarily know what they said, but long story short, we're going to go into the belly of the beast, and now this thing has evolved into he purposely didn't intervene, or he said some things, but didn't take it to the next level because he wanted a viral moment, and the Eagles got it. So where I'm stuck on this is, or he got it. So where I'm stuck on this is obviously what the dude said to his fiance is disrespectful, but basically he didn't take it as far as maybe some other people would have because he wanted the content. So I'm not even quite sure what the fair or foul is about, but I found this whole thing to be way more fascinating than it probably should have been.
Yeah, because we're now talking about three different issues here. We're talking about, because wasn't it a reporter said, why is this guy filming it and not punching his teeth out or something? And that was a controversy.
Right. Would you have put hands? And if you haven't seen the video, I'm not trying to give the guy any more airtime, but you've probably heard about the video.
And he also got banned from every stadium in the NFL.
Yes,
Lincoln Financial Field.
He's cooked. He's probably his where he works came out and said, hey, we will handle it. So he's probably getting canned. And the whole thing is, I guess people are trying to figure out, well, not that he was baited into it, but you let him keep going for the content where most people would have just said, this guy is a bleep hole. We're going to make sure this situation stops.
Sure, but keep it going just means not fighting the guy, because the way that ends is either security removes him, which eventually did happen,
right,
or the guy gets into a fight, which content creation or not, that dude did the right thing by not punching the guy who was making all the sounds. You do not have to fight a guy to defend your partner's honor at a game.
I do think it was kind of, and I get, again, it didn't last all game, but it was weird just watching the recording and this guy saying some crazy stuff about your future wife. I guess the fair or foul is a lot of people, I would say, more OGs are saying, back in my day, I'm not saying to fight per se, but you let it go a little too long and then you ran to social media to get your viral moment because you're spreading, and I'm air quoting, you're spreading awareness as to how you were treated, but you're a content creator and you wanted the content. It didn't have to last that long, and your wife just basically had to wear it.
Yeah, I would say take the content creator aspect out of it, but
Sure.
I feel like you can't in this situation because they got the viral moment And if there was some level of like, we're going to show up in Packers gear, doesn't excuse the behavior at all, but it makes it difficult to try and differentiate what would have happened under normal circumstances.
Right.
Would a normal patron have gone in? Whereas this guy's going in saying, no matter what, we're just going to let the guy keep going.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at, because I just feel, I'm not saying that I would have put hands on him or anything like that, but it's not lasting that long. I can tell you that much.
I would have not fought the guy. What I would have done at a certain point is just remove myself from the situation more than, have to fight the guy or anything like that. Like if my partner or someone I care about is being berated in that way, I'm just removing myself from the situation at that point. There's no point in continuing to go on once you get to the point of saying the things that guy is saying.
Next on the list, a few weeks ago, Victor Wembanyama delivered one of the best jersey swaps we've seen with a young fan that went viral across social media. The young fan had a little mini Wembanyama shirt or jersey. It was just announced today, however, the jersey is already up for auction. What are your thoughts on this? I'm trying to find how much. Maybe there's not a price listed yet. I can't find a price, but a lot of people are trying to say that it's fair because the dad could use that money for the son's college fund, whatever it is. And a lot of people are calling it foul because you not used your son, but there was a viral moment. It was very cute. And the son, the jersey could be gone before the son even knows that he ever had it. The kid looks about 4 years old. Fair or foul, selling the Victor Wembanyama jersey that your son got in a jersey swap.
Do we know that the dad is the one selling it? Or
it ain't the son.
No, I'm saying what happens is that when you have these viral moments, the sharps or people who do this thing for a living swoop in and reach out to the dad on social media and say, I will pay you X number of dollars for the jersey, and then they turn around and flip it for whatever the price is.
But that still requires the dad to say, I'm interested.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're saying they could be just saying, hey, I can probably get you this much if you do want to sell.
I'm saying some collector, or because this is a thing that happens now where people who are memorabilia collectors will use kids outside of games to get jerseys and autographs, because if they as adults walk up, no one will give it to them.
Yeah.
So I suspect it might be a situation where they went in with good intentions, and then once it became this viral moment, people started making offers to the dad. Maybe it's not like the dad deciding, I'm going to put this up on eBay.
I need to see a number. If I'm not putting my son all the way through college, then I'm not doing it. And, Brandon makes a good call on the Sack Chat. He says it's probably going to be worth more years from now. So why sell it now?
I don't know if that's true, because it's the moment is him doing it for the kid. It's not the jersey itself. It's the jersey associated with the moment. A game-worn Wemby jersey is worth something, but not whatever price this guy's going to
I got to see numbers. I'm saying foul, but I also got to see some numbers.
I just need to know who's selling it right now. Has the dad already sold off the jersey?
No,
or did he get lowballed?
He did not sell it yet, I don't think. Whitey Gleason joins us on the other side. 15 more minutes with you, a little bit of crosstalk. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Malik Monk plays here.
Guided left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Your HVAC system, and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair. Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Shop Big O Tires now through January 26th and get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo brand tires. Installation purchase required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tires dealer for details.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
$15 more minutes with you. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. Whitey, we had a Chris Watkins sighting today.
Yeah, I actually poked my head in the window and waved to him, and then I talked to him a little bit afterwards. Yeah.
How long have you been here?
Today? About an hour.
Interesting.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, no. just checking.
PREP, baby. Prep.
Ah, yes.
Prep.
That's right.
I know you start your show earlier. You get here early, right?
Right?
I don't know. I'm asking you, Alan.
I get here earlier than Alan normally.
No. There's a lot that can be done virtually.
Sure. Well, at home, yeah.
On the interwebs.
Whitey, I know you're big into music. Where are you at with Justin Timberlake?
He's gonna be at Bottle Rock, huh?
Well, he's gonna be at Golden One tonight.
Yeah. He's extremely talented. Wasn't he a part owner of the Memphis Grizzlies or something? Wasn't he involved with the Memphis Grizzlies?
Possibly.
Yeah, I don't care for that.
Oh, okay. That reminds me of.
No, I'm incredibly talented.
Yeah. So we're going to see him tonight. We're going.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're going. Chris Watkins may be going as well as Brendan Nunes. So it'll be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a good time. That reminds me of their episode of Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Where.
Does he Cry Me a River?
Yes. That is.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I'm here to see.
Cry me a river.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a little opera-y.
So you just want the hits. That's what you're saying?
No. Well, I don't know.
The whole point of this tour
non-hits.
is that there's a whole new album that just came out.
Yeah, I hope he does that last.
Forget tomorrow, Alan.
That's what he's going to do.
What?
He's going to make you wait for the classics.
No,
if he plays the classics quickly.
He's going to hit you with a classic first.
Right.
Then he's going to go to the music he wants to play.
Right.
And then close with the real classics.
Yeah.
And the first encore might be kind of maybe.
Right.
But then the last song will be.
I don't know if I'll be there for that. We got to get back to the baby. The toddler.
Who's watching? Little
we gotta
Helen.
We haven't taken care.
Little golden ray.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. How do you think that is with? How do you think Justin Timberlake, artists like that feel when it's all right? Nobody really I mean, they see the numbers just like we see the numbers and ratings and things like that. All right, nobody wants to hear my new stuff, but dang it, I'm going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah, that's every artist faces that, right? In the old days, they didn't have to charge as much for the shows because they sold so many records,
right?
Actual records,
right?
And now they got to make money by charging people to come to the shows.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's new Beyonce, people that have been able to just power through. New Beyonce, of course, new Taylor Swift, of course, but a lot of these artists, they get to a point that they've been around long enough. Like I would put Usher in the same conversation, right? Usher was just in the Bay, and I almost saw him when he was out there, but I'm sorry, brother. I don't want to hear your new stuff. And that's no disrespect.
You should give it a try.
You shouldn't ask me about that because my greatest take in the history of the show is when I was on Dave's show in the summer of 2023, and I said Usher was too niche to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, and then they named him the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, no. Come on, Kyle. All right.
He hasn't had a hit song since 2013.
No, that's not true. But you know what? We can't actually hold on now.
I was all excited. Remember the gold miners? They were here.
No, I don't think so.
They were in the Canadian Football League, and they had musical acts, and they had Usher was there one time. I was excited, but it turned out it literally wasn't Usher. It was just some guys like, wow.
Wait, they had a fake Usher?
No, it was my mistake. I misunderstood.
Well, I'm trying to confirm this right now, gentlemen, and I do not believe this is a fake trade, but it is a name that we brought up earlier, Kyle. They did not waste time.
Obi Toppin?
No, I'd be ticked off if it was Obi Toppin. The Charlotte Hornets are trading 7-foot center Nick Richards and 1 second-round pick to the Phoenix Suns for Josh Okogie and 3 second-round picks. That just happened.
Wow, the Suns don't have many of those. That's a big deal.
So they found 3.
Wow.
They found 3. So Nick Richards, that was a name. That's a big body, 7-footer.
It's not good for the Kings because Phoenix is right behind you right now.
And that's very interesting because they were trying to offload Nurkic's contract.
Right.
They couldn't get it done.
So they're just going to ride with Nurkic and Nick Richards?
I don't think Nurkic is going to play much anymore, which is why they're in the tough position of no one. If Charlotte couldn't take Nurkic's contract, nobody's going to take Nurkic's contract.
So that just went down.
Thanks for that update.
Yeah, we went through all of the new names that are available because of the January 15th date, and Malik Monk, one of those names. I don't think we have to worry about anything there, Whitey, but he can be traded along with guys like Obi Toppin, Tyrese Maxey. Again, names that they can be traded now, but it doesn't mean that they will be traded.
I know you love Haywood Highsmith.
You know I do. One of the best names in the NBA. He's available as well now. And we've been going back and forth with the insiders just about whether or not, and I asked Sean Cunningham this as well, do we think that something will actually happen with the Kings? And Sean Cunningham yesterday said, I said, is there a possibility nothing happens? Sean said, yeah, there is. And Whitey, last season, my first full season covering the Kings, I was convinced a move would be made. And
they did try.
They did. Well, everybody tries, Whitey.
No, but I mean, they weren't just not going to try to do anything.
But everybody is trying right now. Or anyone that wants to contend is trying right now. And I am starting to lean towards the end. Once I didn't see anything early with the Kings, I believe we were at Super Bowl. We were at Radio Row, and I said, the Kings aren't doing anything. They didn't do anything. I'll never forget that deadline. I'm starting to feel the same way, Whitey.
Well, there's a ways to go. I think they're waiting out the Nets on Cam Johnson. I think Brooklyn wants 2 firsts, and Monty doesn't want to give him 2 firsts, and so that's what it's going to be. Who's going to blink? I don't think they're going to get Cam Johnson for that reason.
Is he back from that? I'm trying to double check.
Yeah,
he's
played
back
last night.
Yeah.
He played pretty well.
24 points, and they win. Make it happen, Monty.
Yeah, they don't want to keep winning, I think. They're
right
to trade him so they don't keep winning.
Yeah. Yeah, the De'Aaron Fox thing, I don't know if you saw any of this, Whitey, but we spent a good amount of time on De'Aaron Fox. A lot of people, I mean, you have a 7-game winning streak. Yeah, you lose to the Bucks, but you just didn't really have the horses. Did you see there's a decent amount of De'Aaron Fox slander last night.
Did see a little bit of it, yeah.
Just from an efficiency standpoint, or just the fire, right, that maybe people feel is missing.
Kings fans don't like it when a player says, I don't know if I want to stay here. Now, he has every right to do that, and in fact, he does want to stay here. But I think, for some fans, it's going to take a while to get over that.
Yeah, and we'll see if they have to get over it based on what even happens. All right, you got Whitey Gleason, you got Kyle Draper, you got Jay Johnson, known as the Drive Guys. That's coming up next. Yeah, somebody's going to cry me a river if I don't get Obi Toppin in this trade deadline.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing, Whitey. He wants Obi Toppin so much. I'm like, Obi Toppin's not a good player. I don't understand why Styles wants Obi Toppin.
Why do you want Obi Toppin?
He's a good player.
He's literally not.
He's a good player.
The second that Indiana got him, they immediately said we need a 4 and traded for Siakam.
He's a good player, Whitey, and we'll talk about this more.
All right,
we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Thank you to Kyle Ledbetter as always. Thank you to Brennan Nunez, Chris Watkins, all the callers, texters, sack chatters. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Like to be.
Gotta go.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so